Well, all right, all right, all right. Hello there. What's going on there, tea sippers, honey? Everybody out there in Blog Talk Radio land and in the sound of my voice. Honey, it is another glorious Wednesday, darlings. And you know what time it is, honey, so get your crumpets together because, darling, it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meats. Hey, what's happening? Yes. Oh, baby, 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 babies. Today, I'm sitting up here. I'm somewhat slap happy. I've not had any adequate rest for since the last time that we've talked. I've been at the time to make the donuts job for the last 7+ days consecutively. And it's a little wear and tear on me right now because I haven't been sleeping well and all of those shenanigans, honey. So today, when I got off work at 8 o'clock this morning, I had breakfast. I brought my black ass home, and so I don't have to see that place for another 48 hours, and I am so thankful right now. So, honey, this extra burst that you feel, honey, shit, I feel like a runaway slave to freedom, honey. And if it sounds harsh, honey, it is what it is, baby. I'm appreciative of my job. I just need a little break, time for a vacation, honey, just to rejuvenate and replenish so I can come back there refreshed and ready to give them what they need so that I keep a roof over my head. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So, honey, it's a Don't Come Out of a Bag Wednesday. Today is Can You Stand It? Don't Come Out of a Bag Wednesday, honey. This is where you are my co-host. So anything that you want to talk about, honey, I don't care what it is, just don't come out of a bag, honey, because if you do, I'll cut you. And we have one of them kind of sessions. Please feel free. Join in on the conversation at 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. When you call in and you want to say something, just press the number 1. Your hand will go up on my call board here, my switchboard, and I'll know you have something to say. Otherwise, if you're just listening by phone, sit back and relax, honey, and just listen to the sound of my voice and those who will be coming on with me, if anybody comes. Okay? So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or want to have suggestions, ideas, or you have any Dear Meats letters you want to talk and want Meats to shed pearls of wisdom, please feel free to email me directly at bigmeach@dishingtea.com. That's bigmeach, BIGMEACH, @dishingtea.com. Or you could go to the website, www.dishingtea.com. There you will find all the links to the Facebook pages, my Twitter page. Yes, I'm on Twitter, BigMeach1. And also, you can order your copy of my latest book, Awakenings, Epiphanies Along a Spiritual Journey. Yes, you get all of that there, and it will take you on to some fabulous things. You can link on to all of my sponsors, directly link on to my sponsors on the website as well. So I'm very thankful, and I'm glad for that. So let me go here and put this out here because it's going to be one of those kinds of days. Dishing Tea with Big Meach is for mature audiences. The language and or subject matters are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature to handle the subject matters. So your listening discretion is advised. I'm going to repeat that. Dishing Tea with Big Meach is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature to handle the subject matters. Your listening discretion is advised. Now, everyone who knows already knows that Big Meach has a potty mouth. I make no excuses for it. I've earned it. So, honey, I don't know what bag I'm coming out of. Just know that I'm coming out of one. So if you're at work, govern yourself accordingly. Put your headphones on or turn the volume down at a respectful level, because none of you bitches are going to be coming to me, sending me letters talking about something I got you wrote up or got demerits on your job or whatever for your lack of exercising the right to be respectful. If you have children or whatever, send them out the room or give them a grand adult education. Consider yourselves warned, okay? Now, having said that, like I said, today, honey, it's going to be a Don't Come Out of a Bag Wednesday, And there's some interesting points that I'm going to bring to the table. If you wish to comment on these points, or like I said, if there's anything you want to talk about, you can bring it up, and we'll talk about it. And yes, for those of you, honey, who are burning, is he gonna talk about sex? If I had a sex question, can we talk about it? Yes, we can. I'm gonna let you do it. Just come right, okay? So, these are some of the things that I want to bring to your awareness, okay? Well, first off, I'm going to read something here because I want to talk about my hometown of Detroit, the Detroit takeover crisis that's going on. You know, Detroit is one of the greatest cities in the country with all of the automotive. You know, it's the founder of great music from Motown, and Detroit is really an institution. And what has happened over the years, of course, is that it has slowly been diminished, and now we're at a point to where the entire city of Detroit's government is under investigation by the FBI for internal corruption and this, that, and the other. Therefore, the state of Michigan is looking to take over the city. Okay? That is practically unheard of, and it is particularly unprecedented. You know, we have a lot of crime and stuff going on. I'm just going over some notes and doing a little research, and there's a lot of kids being killed. There's a lot of parents killing kids there, and all of those kind of shenanigans. So we're going to talk about that, and if you're listening from Detroit, I want you to call in and weigh in on it because you're there. I'm here in Atlanta now, and I've been here for the last 5 years. So to hear all of this, it doesn't shock me because I saw it breaking down when I was home. But now you're there, you're in the trenches of it, and I want to hear from you. So we're going to talk about that. That's on the table. Also, here's some good news. Teenage pregnancies have dropped in the history of the world, it says, according to USA Today, yesterday's edition. And also, contraceptive use is on the rise within teenagers. So I'm going to go over that article with you and see what it says there. And let's talk about that for a minute. You know, are they finally starting to get the picture? You know, what's happening, you know, for that to be on the upswing? And that there is a very good thing. You know, is it abstinence? Are those who want to preach abstinence, is it starting to work? You know, or is it a combination of things? What do you think on that? We're going to get into that. So that's the second thing that I'm going to put on the table. The third thing I'm going to put on the table is I got a couple of Dear Meats letters, so I'm going to get to those in a moment. Dear Big Meat, yes. Now, listen to me, honey. These were sent to me as well as posted on Facebook. So I kind of answered a couple of them there. So I chose some that I didn't answer on Facebook so that you could get an authentic answer so you don't think I'm just sitting up here reading what I said on Facebook. However, I will share one of the questions that I did answer on Facebook with you so that it'll titillate you to think and to go there with me, okay? And if you want to weigh in on that and have advice or want to comment on it, you can do that as well. And the fourth thing that I'm going to talk about, which is probably the meat and potatoes of this, is going to be, the question is, are we going backwards in time? Do you think that the African-American experience in this country is cooning and buffooning just to get paid? We got all this controversy with Mary J. Blige, you know, and her, the chicken wrap commercial with who is it? Is it KFC or whichever one chicken place is for? You know, do you think that that's what's going on? I know I personally take stake in the whole. There's a new reality show coming on TV One called, and get this title, My Mama's Throwing Down. It's from the producers of Iron Chef. All the Iron Chef shows, they're producing this, and you can't come up with a better title than My Mama Throwing Down because it's on TV One, the black station. That there took me there. It took me there. It did. It took me there. So that's the whole question. Are we going backwards in time? Do you feel as though we cooning and buffooning just to make $1, or is it smart marketing because those who are developing these concepts know that there's a market out there for it. Now, we may get upset with the stereotypes, but one of the things about a stereotype is that it has the ring of truth. The problem with the stereotype is that a lot of folks want to use the stereotype and it becomes a generalization for an entire culture. And we all know generalizations, honey, does not work because everyone is individual. So is it a good marketing ploy or is it cooning and buffooning, honey? So we're going to talk about that, and not just for black folks, because, you know, as a gay man and as an actor, one of the things that I get very, 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 very upset with is anytime I go out for a role and the role happens to call to be openly gay, they always want the gay person that is over the top. You know, that sissy that all of us can't stand to be around after so long, that's loud, always finger snapping, always in your face, always just too much. You know, that's the person that they always want at these auditions. And so you see it in all the mama plays. You see it in the little chitlin circuit plays. You know, every time there's a gay character in there, she is the over-the-top bitch diva with the quick little one-liners, the honey, you know, she always clicking and things. She always man-stealing. She man-hungry. You know, and this, that. Is that a correct representation of what we want folks to see us? And do we know folks like that? Hell yeah, we know folks like that. We were probably one of them at one time. But at the same time, is that the only image that's out there? So I want you to consider those four subjects, those three subjects in the Jim Meets letters, and that's what I'm going to put on the table today. Can you stand it? Don't come out of a bag. Well, baby, honey, after these commercial breaks, honey, we're going to get right into it. So get your tea and your crumpets, honey, because it's time to dish tea. Hey. Are you looking for that special place to take someone for a good down-home Southern meal and some live entertainment? Well, have I got the place for you. Right here in the underground Atlanta, we have the Georgia Peach Restaurant and Lounge. Enjoy Southern hospitality and Southern fusion cuisine. This is the perfect place to dine and mingle while experiencing a home-like atmosphere. Stop by and enjoy invigorating jazz and blues music with live entertainment on the weekends. We're open Monday through Saturdays. Lunch is served from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Dinner served from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Appetizers from 10 p.m. until close. Sunday brunch, 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. If you are a government employee, military personnel, or an airline employee, you will enjoy a 10% discount on all of your dine-in food. Located in the underground Atlanta, right there at Kenny's Alley in the heart of Atlanta, you have the Georgia Peach Restaurant and Lounge. For more information, contact them at 404-348-4300. That's 404-348-4300. Or go online and look them up at www.dinegapeach.com. That's www.dinegapeach.com. The Georgia Peach Restaurant and Lounge. Southern hospitality and Southern fusion cuisine. Vidal, Couture, Eacham, Vidal, Couture. Enjoy high fashion with luxurious twist. Step into the future with fresh, innovative couture. Designs by Miss Michi DeVale. Michi DeVale. For more information, contact Michi
at 313-996-9807. 313-996-9807. Or go to Facebook and go to facebook.com/Michi DeVale. That's MICHIEEDEVALE. Michi DeVale Eacham Vidal Couture.
I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit. Back on track with the new year, who's here? Thrown this hell, ain't let too many crew here. Big boys up, gotta show begin here. Let some skinny niggas pass, but I'm in here. No shirt, blue jeans on my fat boy shit. Belly out, bucket of chicken up under arm. Bottle of grape soda, cause the weight over. I'm hungry. Fuck dieting. Skinny niggas, we taking over. Big is beautiful. Brown pumping steak. Plus know how to cook, play ball, and throw the hands quick. You can't lay on the skinny dude, they ribs touching. Lay on the big boy, you fall asleep and fall in love. Hugging on your petty rough skin. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit, on my fat boy shit. I'm walking down the block on my fat boy shit.
All right, and we are back. That was Bone and Tail, honey. Fat boy shit. Okay, I love that for the big boys out there representing. Yes. That's a cute little opening, honey, because I'm going to start off, we're going to go here with Dear Big Meats Letters, okay? And I have to say, honey, the ones that I've chosen for today, honey, are going to be really cute. So, again, if you want to weigh in on the conversation, please feel free to call 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. Okay? Now, here is a question that I think is very interesting. And someone seems like they are in pain. I'm going to go here. Dear Big Meat, have you ever felt like you lost yourself in a relationship and put up with more than you ever should have? How do you go on and get you back before it's too damn late? Okay. Well, darling, this particular question is multi-layered, okay? At least from my perspective, and I'll tell you why. Because having been a person who has dealt with this particular issue, and it wasn't just romantic relationships, it was friendships and those who I hold dear to me or thought I should have held dear to me. A lot of times we end up losing ourselves in that person because we don't have any business of our own. And I know that sounds harsh, but a lot of times we give the other person the power to define who we are or who we think we're supposed to be to them. So we act accordingly, thinking that if we do this and we be nice here, we give them this and we do this for them, we do that's going to mean that they're going to stay there, they're going to love us better, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. If this is a sexual relationship and you've had great sex with it, okay, then it ends up blurring all of those lines because now in your quest for looking for love, you got good sex out of it, and now you think that this is supposed to be the end-all, be-all, and it's the T, okay? But the real T is you have not given yourself permission to live. Honey, you was an adult when you met this person. So that means you came to the table with everything that you needed. You thought you had a hole because you thought he was supposed to fill it. And that's the problem. So what do you need to do? First off, the first thing you need to say to yourself is that I am who I am, and I'm all that I need to be me. I am who I am, and I am all that I need to be me. Secondly, you have to start by understanding what your hobbies are. You got to get a life, sugar, and not make this person your life. Anytime we put somebody else and make them our lives, is because we don't have one. We think that we're looking for something, or we're lacking something, or feel as though we don't deserve it because we think all of our time is supposed to be given to them. And here's something else, and this might be a little that way. A lot of that stems from a lot of Christian teachings too, because the whole "what would Jesus do" thing, and the whole idea of it's better to give than to receive, and you're supposed to always be there to help somebody out, and blah blah blah, and all of those messages become adulterated when we get into love relationships, because if love is not reciprocated, honey, if it is not reciprocated, then it is not love. If love is not reciprocated, it is not love. You understand? It's not love. What it becomes is obligation. And the person, you become obligated to that person because you feel, well, if I didn't do this, then that means I don't love them, or if they don't do this, then that means they don't love me. So you have to understand who you are. Get your own hobbies and start doing the stuff that you like. Understand, if it's going to the movies, if it's watching videos, if it's painting your nails, if it's building a table, whatever that is that you like, honey, if you like to cook, you like to sew, you like to do hair, whatever that is that you like to do and come out of the sexual realm, whatever it is that you like to do that brings happiness and joy and connects you with your higher power, those are the things that you need to do. Do the things that you did prior to meeting that person in order to reclaim you. Once you start to do that, then you see where your power is, and you have to reconnect with your power. And once you do that, then you start the process of becoming whole again. You always are whole. It's just that you have to understand your power in it and recognize how whole you are. I always say this, and I say this in my book, that one person should not be looking for completion. You should be looking for affirmation. If you come into the table already together, then what the person next to you is doing, or walking side by side with you is doing, is affirming everything about you. They walk with you because they choose to, not because they're obligated to, because you say they complete you or they fill this void. No, they're hand in hand with you because they chose to say, this is the person who I stand behind, stand beside, walk with, and walk through fire for and through and with and about. Because everything about you I believe in, even your flaws, even your ugliness, I believe in all of that because it takes all of that to make you. And like I said, it's multi-layered, honey, but that's where you start, and then once you get that together, you would then start to understand who you are. And always remember, honey, the process is sandpaper for the soul. It's going to be rough. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to be rough. And it's going to take some time. But once you invest that time, you'll be all right. Okay? So, yes, there is that one. That was a doozy. A doozy. I'll take one more. Dear Big Meat, why are the majority, if not all, of gay men drawn to singers who are divas? Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, Barbra Streisand, Cher, Janet, Mary J., Madonna, Lady Gaga, and others. Why do these female singers have such a strong gay following? All right. This particular question was sent to me, and this is one that I answered on Facebook, and it created a nice debate between me and another person who don't care for these people. He doesn't see them as divas, and actually he feels as though that they are not talented or creative. Really, okay? However, my response, and I still stand behind this, these women exude the strength and they exude all of that feminine masculinity that we have come to learn from our parents, particularly our mothers. A lot of gay men have become, they were raised and nurtured primarily in single-parent households. Okay? Now, one of the things that we gravitate towards is the fact that a strong woman, honey, who sits up there, she gives you glamour, she gives you beauty, she gives you this, she gives you that, and she still gives you the toughness and the roughness and the suave and the kahunas, if you will, to stand up to a man. She does not buck to him. She does not allow him to diminish her, and she does not allow him to take anything away from her. Those kind of women are who we stand up to. And considering that these women are entertainers, they also have a voice that speaks to us. These same women are, they're glamorous. They become, a lot of them are, all of them are female drag queens anyway. They give you greater performance. They're willing to get ugly, and can still come up and throw their hair back and still give you just, sophistication and sexiness and all of that. And all of us who gravitate to these women, we see them as our strength because they remind us of why we adore the women, the female persona. Many gay men don't necessarily hate men, because it's not that we hate men, it's just that we've been bombarded with all that masculinity to where masculinity is only one note. It doesn't sing. It has no color. It has no flavor. It has no style. If you look at men's clothing, just look at a man, period. Okay, and I'm not talking sexually, because that there is something else. But when we look at men, we are all black, brown, blues, burgundies. Okay, everything in your closet. Okay, women are expressive. They're able to live through color. They're able to get away with a lot more stuff, and they're able to be expressive. These same women have gay followings because, like I said, they have been the voice or a voice for many of us. So we're able to latch on to them. They've gravitated to us because they've shown us the love. They were able to accept us as we were, just as we accepted them as they are. And so over time, there was a relationship that was nurtured, and kind of, we fed into that, and we've grown together, and we've cried together, and we've stewed together. We've been in love together. And so throughout all of those moments, honey, these particular women get it. They understand what it is. And then being in the entertainment industry, with the cutthroat that they have to go through, being strong women who had to fight for the top because they were in an all-male dominated culture and business, they had to fight for everything. Same as gay folks. We had to fight and still do for everything, to be noticed, to be seen, to be taken seriously, and all of those things. So that there is my take on why we gravitate, as gay men, gravitate to these women the way that we do. Now, like I said, there was a counter story to that, because the one guy felt as though he didn't understand it. He don't see them as being talented. He didn't see them as being any of those things. He just saw them as being puppets. Okay, they don't write their own songs. They don't play instruments. They don't do this. They don't do that, and this, that, and the other. And it was sad that he feel that way. However, I did question him. I wanted to, because in his statement, he claims that he can't stand Anita Baker, but yet he loved Mary J. Blige. And I'm like, honey, how do you love Mary J. Blige when Mary J. Blige is a student of Anita Baker? If there was no Anita, there wouldn't have been a Mary. You know, so that just proved to be very interesting, interesting. So that there is my take on that. So, like I'm saying, if you're just joining in and want to come in on the conversation, feel free. 347-205-9183. 347-205-9183 is the number to call. And if you want your voice heard, and this, that, and the other. Right now, let me go here. I'm going to take another commercial break, but I'm going to play this song on the interlude because I want you to catch this, honey. This is by a new cat named Devin. Catch this.
Face contorted, and from the wrinkles in her forehead, I figure she's trying to get her emotions sorted, bitch. I know what that means. Another conversation on why we're not at where she feels we're supposed to be, which I thought I told you from the beginning how it is, but I guess here we go again. What do you want from me? Why you been acting strange? I know what you want from me. Nothing that I can change. Something I don't believe, reasons I can't explain. What do you want from me? I'd rather not play the game. Sometimes I wonder why do people lie to themselves at times. left, and I would hope they would stay the same. Maybe one day you can penetrate my defenses to make a change. But it's gonna be hard to let you in, cause I'm guarding the heart that never did for you men. And I know you need somebody that's more than a friend, and I wish I could be him, but for now, I don't wanna fall in love.
All right, if we are back, honey, there's a new spoken word artist named Devin. I'm living for this child, honey. I'm living for him. I'm living for him. Yes, I am. Okay. So yes. Okay, we're back. And I want you to now, honey, if you want to tune in and join in, 347-205-9183, 347-205-9183, 313-772. I see you. I'm coming to you in just a few seconds, honey. 248, I see you. I'm coming to you in just a few moments. Let me go here on this. And I'm gonna put let me. This is the hot button, really. Are we going backwards in time? Do you think that the African American experience in this country is cooning and buffooning just to get paid? Have you guys seen that Mary J. Blige commercial yet? That the kids are fighting over and being disruptive about, and this, that, and the third. Well, okay, here it is. I've seen it, okay? And at first, I only heard the jingle. You know, it was cute. Crispy chicken, some lettuce, tomato, onions, wrapped in a tortilla, da-da-da. You know, I'm like, okay, you know, yeah, it's cute. If it had been just the voiceover, you know. And they showing you the chicken, how they make the little chicken wrap. Well, here is where it gets a little that way for me. The commercial opens. You got the little whatever the chicken joint is. I think it's KFC. You got the joint. The cashier's there. There's a white couple that comes up to the cashier. You know, they say, "Oh, the chicken wrap." Well, what's in the chicken wrap? Well, damn it, the camera pans over to an already perched on stage, ready to perform Mary J. Blige. And what she does is what gets me. She throw her hand on her hip, give you the girlfriend neck rub. What's in the chicken sandwich? What's in the chicken wrap? And then break in the song. That little piece of move right there, the little whole ghetto love, what's in the chicken wrap, was enough to say, really? It took me there, and yes, I can laugh at it and think it's funny. Yes, we know it's funny, and all of those things. But, okay, I'm told it's Burger King. Okay, so it's Burger King. Okay, whatever. And I can sing better than that. The child that sent me that. I'm just playing. I don't get it twisted. Anywho, so, you know, that particular move there is what just flipped the script for me. And a lot of people who got upset about it, for me, it ain't the fact that she's singing about the chicken. It ain't the chicken. You know, it is that little ghetto, fabulous little move that we all do, you know, that in all of this keeping it real kind of do-I-did-it. You know, in this keeping it real state of mind or whatever. So, again, are we cooning and buffooning to get paid? Or is this smart advertising tactics? Because, as I said in the intro, stereotypes, honey, have truth in them. They're based on truth, okay? The problem is a stereotype becomes a generalization. And so folks start to identify a group or a culture or a section of society based on the generalizations. And so then that becomes the problem, because when everyone don't fit the quote-unquote stereotypes, then it starts to ruffle feathers, because now when this label doesn't identify me and in its truthfulness, then we have this disconnect, and also a lot of racial bias is what's developed out of here. Okay, So what are your thoughts on that, honey? What are your thoughts on that? Now, before we go there, I'm going to play this. Let me play this because you will understand completely. Oh, the board just done lit up. I'm coming. I'm going to play this real quick. Y'all tell me what this was.
To my knees, all I hear is that big Mac calling me. I'm loving it and it feels alright. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, yeah, I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, yeah, McDonald's, what I want, McDonald's, number 1, number 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, what else did you got it? I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, gotta get it, Big Mac, T-bone, half fry, a lot fry, a lot check, I want it, I want it, sweet tea, gotta be sweet, sweet tea, ooh, I'm loving it and it feels alright, McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, yeah, McDonald's.
Woo! Okay. I love it because the boy sang his face in, okay? The child sang his face in. But that was, if y'all have not seen it, it's up on YouTube, honey. This is called the McDonald's Gospel Commercial Remix or something like that. You'll see it, okay? And you had to get the moves because, of course, on all that screaming, they did the choir breakdown back, So what was it? Okay? It's fun. We know it uplifts. We do this. We do that. But are we cooning and buffooning to get paid? Or is this a marketing tool that is designed to go after a specific audience because that audience exists? We talk about Tyler Perry. Everybody say Tyler done, he done went out on a limb and got black folks looking a certain way. They used to say that about Spike Lee when Spike Lee first started. Then Spike done jump on the bandwagon because now he done got uppity, and too sophisticated. So now Spike is saying that Tyler is cooning and buffooning. And so what do we have? Okay, let's go to the phone lines. 313, I'm coming to you first because you had your hand up. 313-772, you are dishing tea with Big Meats. Hey, darling.
Well, hey there, Big Meat.
Hey, what's up?
My goodness. This is Mark from Detroit. Miss Thing, I thought I had a thing or two to tell you about the two top subjects, but after you done played that McDonald's jingle. Girl, stop that. Well, shucks. I'm torn. That was... Baby, them first two subjects were so serious for me, I wanted to go on and on about it, but that was some shucking and jabbing, and all I can say is, at this particular point, from my perspective, they at least did it. I have nothing against a crazy fool that's committed, because at least you committed to something. It's much, much better to at least go forth and do as opposed to sit on your ass and do nothing.
Okay.
I personally do not want to die on my knees. So if I got to get up and look a goddamn fool until I figure out how to look sensible, then yes, that's what I'm going to have to do. But that's a very humbling thing for the likes of me to admit. Because I think I only said it now because I'm on the show, because I know I love me to sit down.
Okay.
my head comes to the table when I rested upon the bed. But I mean, it's what a hot topic, because I really, on the one hand, you can say, well, of course, I guess that would be offensive, but on the other hand, baby, what are you putting out to show the opposite of it?
Interesting point.
If you're that riled up about it, then you make the opposite of that, and you rock on with it. But at least go forth with a thought and a plan. And as we all know, that's a lot easier said than done.
Okay. Now,
so that's that on that.
let me say this because I want to point this out. McDonald's never officially used this as their jingle. They had a contest, and these were the contest submissions, okay? Now, it was a battle cry because this went up on YouTube 2 years ago, and it was a battle cry because a lot of the folks wanted this to win because, of the Do I Did It. He broke it on down, sweet tea, sweet tea. Okay, bop, honey, they bopping.
Right.
Okay. However, I asked the question because let me take y'all back. Do anyone other than me and at work there's a few other folks that vaguely remember, but does anyone else remember the Church's Chicken commercial with Kirk Franklin and the family singing Church's Chicken?
No.
Really? Hold on. I'm gonna keep you up. I'm going to keep you in on the line. Let me bring somebody else up in here. Let me go here. 404-790. 404-790. I'm bringing you in. Everybody's going to be talking. So, hello, darling. You're dishing tea with Big Meech. Come on in. Did I get you? Hold on. There we go. Hi, 404-790. Welcome to Dishing Tea with Big Meech.
Yes, good afternoon. How you doing?
I am everything, and everything is me.
Okay. Well, I was calling about the Mary J. Blige. I wasn't offended. I wasn't offended by her singing. It was just to go to her concerts and see her giving the same energy she was doing in that McDonald's, in that Burger King commercial. That's what threw me off. It wasn't because it was a stereotype. I mean, because it would have been good if they would have just used her voice. Because Jay Leno, he's known for his cars, and he drives through the Burger King, and the guy tells him, well, Jay, we do have a drive-through, but he's known for his cars. But Mary gave so much of herself like she was in concert, so that's what threw me about the commercial, nothing else.
I need to see this commercial.
Really?
Yeah. It to me, it wasn't coonery. It was just, she just gave the energy when she's doing her concerts, and them women out there that has been hurt and abused and everything, and she's singing. When I seen her give that same energy in that commercial, I'm like, so every time I go see her in the concert, that's what I'll be thinking about, her doing that Burger King commercial, talking about, what's the fresh lettuce houses to go get?
Okay, right. Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce. Wait. Now that's an interesting perspective. You say that she gave the same energy. Wait a minute. See, you done hit something that I'm finna get ready to go here with that. Because one of the things about a good singer, and see, Mary J. Blige have been crowned the queen of hip hop soul, and okay. Okay. Now, one of the things that gave her that crown is that she, and I will say, she is the voice of this generation as far as pain and this, that, and the other. And one of the things that we know is that food is one of the things that people go to when they're hurting. So are you saying, because this is what I'm hearing as a subtext, are you saying that this girl could possibly be promoting obesity and carrying on because of the emotion she evoked in singing this song on the crispy chicken wrap? And you say that she's giving the same energy with the concert?
I just see the same energy to see Mary J. And I've been following Mary J. since the late '89, '90s. Okay, Mama named Cora, used to work up in the hospital in the Bronx. Been knowing the young lady forever, from the abuse from old boy, from the Jodeci, the whole nine. Seen her perform with black eyes with shades on. But when she was singing that song in that Burger King commercial, it was the same energy that she gives at a concert. And she was just in Atlanta not long ago, so that's what took me. If they would have used just her voice, it would have been good. Because now I see they doing the soccer player and they doing Jay Leno, but they not running her ads right now. But they said they will start. They're going to run them again. They're going to start running them. But right now, all I see is the soccer player, the overpaid soccer player, and Jay Leno. That's in the commercials. Yeah.
Well, the official thing is they pulled the ads because there was a licensing problem with the music. That's the official statement. Right.
Yeah, so they say, yeah.
There's a licensing problem, and so they pulled the ad because of that. My whole thing was, hell, she could sing the jingle all day. The jingle, there's nothing wrong with her singing about chicken, honey. Hell, everybody who we know that cook or whatever, you humming something when you cook it. You just happen to be singing about the chicken and the crispy chicken and the lettuce and the tomatoes wrapped in a tortilla. Okay? Lovely. There was nothing wrong. My thing was that heifer sat up there, put her hand on her hip, and gave that ghetto neck roll with the chicken wrap. Really?
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. That's what she does on stage, you know. And like I said, been following the young sister forever and a day. From when I used to go to a concert and say, okay, well, Mary, you need to go for some voice lessons, you know. And gave her 3 tries. Went to 2 concerts, and the third one, I guess she took voice lessons, and bam, she was doing good. But when I seen that energy that she gives on stage, the same thing she did in that commercial, that's what lost me. It wasn't the singing about chicken. She could have been singing about a Burger King shake, you know.
She kept it real.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you, caller.
Okay. Thank you.
All right then, I'm gonna put you back down on hold. There we go. This child said it's the energy, honey. She done sat up there and said, no, you ain't gonna give me that energy that you give it in the concert, honey. You supposed to be just thinking about the chicken, not sitting up there soothing my soul about the damn chicken wrap. Hot damn. Okay, this on my board says Andrew 82848. Andrew 82848. I'm coming right to you. Hello there, sugar. You're dishing tea with Big Meat, and this is Mark on the line still. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you?
I am everything sweetness, and everything is me.
That is great.
How you doing?
That is great. Do fries come with that?
Wow.
What, with the neck roll or what? Or the chicken wrap, honey?
The chicken wrap. You know, I want some fries up in here, yo.
Okay, listen at you.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I don't think the commercial's bad at all. I mean, it's just fun.
It's fun. Okay. Support your theory. You say it's just fun. Okay, I can live with that. But why you strongly admitted that it's just fun?
Because it just gives McDonald's a new feel, and different places should change their jingle very often because people are going to get bored of the same old thing. They want to introduce more people into their business by picking up new audiences. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, but both all the jingles made me want to go eat something.
Okay, well, that's what they're supposed to do. You see, child, please, I'm sitting up here. I've only seen the thing once, honey, and I got that thing down. Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, tomatoes, wrapped in the tortilla. Okay.
Well, I'm interested. I want to go get a chicken wrap, and then I want to head straight to McDonald's and go up and down the Church Mart.
Okay. Now, Andrew, let me ask you, where are you calling from, darling?
England.
See, now here we go. Now, see, this is where it becomes. Oh, well, wait a minute. Did you say England?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that just tickled. I know that I'm an international show, but wow, it does me good. Thank you so much for that. But here's the that just took a moment. But here's the interesting thing, because over here in America and in the States, what happens over here a lot of times, when we deal with racial disparages and things, do you over in England see that as the same problem that we as Americans do? When you guys look at American television, what do you see? What is it that you see?
Don't know, really. It's just a load of American accents. I don't really see anything.
Okay. So with this particular commercial, it's just a commercial like any others to you. It's just plain old having fun. So basically, you're saying this is just a marketing tool for them to sell their damn product.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, so right, and okay, all right,
that's
cute. Go ahead.
You know what? I hope this isn't illegal to say this. But
no, say it how you feel it.
Park did a show where they was arguing over this flag, chef, the black chef and whatnot. And when Chef finally came, towards the end of the cartoon, and Chef asked the little boys what did they see, you know, because the flag had white people around this figure that was being hanged on, that's around a black figure, they're like all stick figures, being hanged like from a hangman thing. And so, of course, Chef was like, you know, that's racist. But when you asked the little boys what did they see, all they saw was 5 people, and one of them was being hung. They never noticed the color. So to appease the black folks, they had changed the people that was hanging from one white one to a yellow one, a red one, and a black one. So now that you have a black person stand out there, okay, now that the other black one was hanging from the pole, I thought it was darling. Yes, it did. I giggled and laughed and enjoyed it.
Well, all righty then. Okay.
Back in. get your skirt frayed.
Oh, no, you said sad. Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you, Andrew, for coming on, and thank you for listening over in England, honey. Thank you so
Thank you, Andrew. You are awesome.
Get that fries on the way. Mm.
Get them. Okay, how do you want them, honey? You want them crispy or extra salty, honey? They comment.
Extra salty.
You ain't never
I love it. And I just got my passport, too, honey, so I can travel. That's the tea. Ow.
I would like to add one more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to add that if that's racist, isn't McDonald's logo racist because it's red and yellow over here, and it's red and white as well over in the States, right?
No, it's red and gold here. The field is red with the golden arches.
But isn't that racist in some aspects? You know, you could argue that that's racist, but
You know, in a very, very loose connotation, you may have a point. None of us have really even thought about it. But the Native American, I know they have a problem with color.
Oh.
You know, and to use the color, I know here in Atlanta where I am, on our trains we went from directions to colors. You know, we were north and south. Now we are a red line and a gold line. And at one point they changed the color to gold because it was called the yellow line, and because it said yellow line in Native American culture, that yellow line was supposed to meant fear and that you were afraid. And they also thought that it was an infringement on calling yellow. They felt that it was racist and they were talking about their ethnicity. So they end up changing the color to gold so that it wouldn't be offensive. But as far as that McDonald's logo or Burger King or any other others, because now let me correct that, the commercial for Mary J is a Burger King commercial. So you know, I have not engaged in any of those kinds of discussions here, and I'm 42 years old. I've never heard it here, but that's interesting, very interesting.
But you know, KFC, right? Isn't that something to do with slavery? The guy who made the recipe, something to do with that?
Now that I heard.
Now, yes, we did hear that as far as the Colonel Sanders and things, and when he started his business, yes, it's supposed to have been a recipe or something that came down from a long line of slaves, and of course, at that time, they wasn't cooking the chicken themselves; it was their servants that was doing all the cooking. You know, so yeah, you know, if we get technical and or even do the research about all of it, yeah, we could take it all the way back there to where everything then becomes has some kind of racial overtones. As with this country, because this country is America that we know and have come to love or whatever, or has become this force to be reckoned with, is a stolen country. Everything about us is stolen. Everything that makes us is stolen. Our language is stolen because, you know, the English language is not really English. It's a hodgepodge of everything else. The customs are stolen. The only thing that is authentic about America is the policies that it's built on, because America was built off of thieves, and the Queen sent over the thieves, honey, the thieves and the degenerates of England. They kicked them out. And they came over here under the president of wanting to start a religion, and all of that, if you pay attention to our laws, all the criminals have all the rights.
Well, I would like to add one more last thing. And basically we have this problem where everything is racist. Like, you know, some of the nursery rhymes like Baba, sheep.
Black sheep, have you any wool?
Yeah, we have that problem. I mean, it does go too far where you just too afraid to open your mouth.
Oh, do you have that there in England?
Yeah, we have the problem where like people are saying this is racist, that's racist, and you just can't really say anything. You know.
Okay, I didn't know that. Wow. So the nursery rhymes. Okay, so yeah, see, here in the States, we've dealt with all of that, with the nursery rhymes, with the cartoons, the big old Sambo and Carrying On, and back in the day when we were kids and Bugs Bunny and all of them would put the head in the tree and they come out as a big old Sambo.
Mary.
You know, we thought it was just hysterical, but not knowing the undertones of all of that, you know. So, yeah, here in the States, we've been dealing with race, honey, since slavery and possibly even before then. But, yeah, that there is something that is it's innate here. And to get to the root of it, honey, it will take literally a miracle in order to pluck it and to kill that root, because we got to get that bulb, honey. If we don't get the bulb, all we're doing is just pruning the lawn.
Yeah, I mean, over in this country, you have to say "ba ba blue sheep." You can't say the word; it's racist. You actually have to sing it differently.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, you know that makes an ass like me want to go to England. I probably get shot on sight because I'd want to skip down the street.
Blue sheep. Wow.
You basically have to say any color that's not an actual color of a tribe, people, or, you know, ethnic.
Wow.
As long as I'm black, I get to say it. Okay.
Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. All right. Well, here, listen, let me put you back on hold. I have to take a break. Let me go to commercial. Mark, I'm going to put you back on hold as well. I got 248, I'm coming to you. 989, I'm coming to you as well, babies. Y'all hold on for just a few moments. Let my sponsors come on in here and do some things, honey, and we'll be right back after a word from one of my sponsors. Maybe a couple of them, honey. What you think? Yeah. The Big Brothers Network. Yeah, men of color, men of size. The Big Brothers Network was created to celebrate the larger man of color and those who admire him. We intend to promote a positive self-image within our community and the mainstream population. Our goal is to embrace our differences, to inspire self-love, and increase camaraderie through positive, brotherly interactions. We intend to accomplish these goals through the BBN magazine, local and national events, and networking forums. For more information or to catch the latest copy of the BBN magazine, please go to www.bigbrothersnetwork.com. That's www.bigbrothersnetwork.com. The Big Brothers Network. Men of color, men of size. The Caribbean American Boys Entertainment. We specialize in jerk and conch food catering, party promotions and emceeing, entertainment with the Caribbean swagger, island fever on the mainland, bam bam. We also provide customized tour guides through gay-friendly Bahamas to all the hot spots of dining and club life events. Mr. Silvano T. DeMarco is the founder and CEO of the CABC. For more information, please contact him at CaribbeanBoysATL@yahoo.com. That's Caribbean Boys with a Z, ATL, @yahoo.com, or on Facebook at Facebook.com/Silvano T. DeMarco. That's Facebook.com/Silvano T. DMARCO. Caribbean American Boys Entertainment. Island Fever on the mainland. Bam bam. Hey there, tea-sippers. We're giving it to you the way it's given to us. Fabulously and fierce and never shady or cynical. You're dishing tea with Big Meech right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Pharaoh's Treasure Box. Fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements. Creations by Taps.
For all of your decorative needs, contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box at 248-688-5178 or 5179. Again, that's 248-688-5178 or 5179. Or you can email at Pharaoh's Treasure Box at yahoo.com. That's Pharaoh's Treasure Box, PHAROAHS Treasure Box at yahoo.com. To see the collection or to purchase, go to www.buysellcommunity.com/store/Pharaoh's Box. Again, that's www.buysellcommunity.com/store/Pharaoh's Box, and that's PHAROAHZ Box. Pharaoh's Treasure Box of Detroit, Michigan. Fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements.
All right, and we are back. Okay, if you're just tuning in and want to get in on the conversation, honey, 347-205-9183. 347-205-9183 is the number to call. Press the number 1 if you want to come on in and have a few words to say, or just sit back and relax, honey, and make sure that you're sipping your tea, honey, from the hot pot that we got. Okay? And then have your crumpets together, honey, because this is hot. Now, the subjects that we have on board right now, and also if you want to change one, if you got something else that you want to say, bring it on in, and we can do that. But right now, what's on the table? We have the Dear Meets letters. You know, why is it that gay men are drawn to or attracted to divas? Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, Barbara Streisand, Cher, Janet Jackson, Mary J. Blige, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Stephanie Mills, and the others. You know, why do they have such a strong gay following? That was one letter. What are your thoughts on that? Okay. The other letter was, have you ever felt like you lost yourself in a relationship and put up with more than you should have? How do you go on and get you back before it's too damn late? What are your thoughts on those two particular Dear Meets letters, honey? Also, what's on the table? Detroit. For those of you who are there living in Detroit, honey, what the hell is going on? That the FBI done came up in there, and now the entire city of Detroit's infrastructure, okay, the entire city of Detroit government is under investigation by the FBI. And possible state takeover. So what are your thoughts on that? And the meat and potatoes today is, do you feel that the African-American experience here in this country is moving backwards? Do you believe or feel that many of the African-American entertainers or African-Americans, period, are cooning and buffooning just to get paid? Okay, now, you know, we've been talking about this Mary J. Blige commercial with Burger King and the crispy chicken wrap thing that she sang about, and this, that, and the third. You know, if you're just tuning in, you've missed the McDonald's commercial, the gospel McDonald's commercial that we played. So what do you think? You know, for those who criticize Tyler Perry and some of the characters that he's brought to life that a lot of us know because we know we have those same people in our families. You know, what do you think? Do you think that, you know, we're making a mockery of the culture, or are you one who just believes, child, y'all making too much out of nothing? You know, this is a marketing tool that has been very well in finding the audience. Tyler knows his audience. And for those of you who feel as though they shuck and jive, Tyler's audience is mainly the black church, honey. Okay? So what are you saying? Is the church shucking and jiving too? Or is that black culture? Or what is it? What are your thoughts on that? So 347-205-9183. I'm going to go back to the phone lines right now. 248-688. I'm coming to you right now. And I'm going to bring in also 989-790. Bringing you two in together. Let's have a dialogue. Hello, dear children. Honey, you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat. Hey.
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 How you doing?
What's up?
Child, I just think these children just always going over the top. You know what I'm saying? It's just a freaking commercial. It's a part of the culture. People need to embrace what they grew up with. Everybody got somebody in their family that act like that, and if they don't, they know somebody like that. So just get over it. It's real.
May I comment?
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't see the problem.
It's cooning. What did you say? Coonery and
Cooning and
buffoonery.
buffooning. Mm-hmm.
Cooning and buffooning. That's too many things. But it's all about black dollars. That's what it boils down to. You've got
Right.
the black entertainer thinking about adding dollars to that family, to her family, to her livelihood, which it then becomes black dollars. Now it's coming from the white man, but once it's given to her, it's becoming black dollars, and she's able to control that. They're trying to, as far as the marketing, of course, they're targeting blacks. Who goes to Burger King, who goes to KFC, who goes and frequents fast food restaurants. The majority black. When you think of chicken, who do you think of? Black. So that's what they're doing. They're targeting the black dollar, and the black entertainer is simply, taking advantage of what the white man is offering. Now, can we fault the entertainer for trying to make a living? If somebody comes to you and says, "Look here, Big Meat, I want you to act the biggest fool you can on this stage, and I'm going to give you $1 million white dollars." What are you going to do?
Well, I've been placed with that, in many in a couple of different arenas, because as an entertainer, like I said earlier, going on auditions. In fact, this happened to me here in Atlanta, and I was so embarrassed. I really was embarrassed. I did a movie here, an independent film called Words to Kill. And in that movie, I portrayed a transgender restaurant owner, somewhat flamboyant, but, not over the top. And when I went on this particular audition, the camera person or the director of photography who did that movie knew me, of course, and so I went out to audition for a different character. What he did was stop my audition and asked me to bring in elements of the old characters for everyone else there to see. And I was trying to throw it off. I was like, "Child, I don't remember none of those lines or this, that, and the other. I'm really working on giving them this because this is what they said what they're auditioning for." And he basically would not have me audition until I gave them a little something so-and-so. So I did at the audition, and of course, it was so such and such as that way, blasa, blasa, blasa. And I really felt like I had just cooned out on top of coon, honey. I felt so ridiculously ashamed at the audition that, I knew I wasn't going to get the role because I felt like I was put on Front Street. You know what I'm saying? And so for that learning experience for me, I have decided to never go outside of my comfort zone like that to where I feel as though I'm degrading myself because there is not a dollar amount that you could ever give me that will replace the time that it took for me to put myself down that far in the gutter. Because you're not going to be there to clean me up. I don't care how much money you give me. You are not going to be there to clean me up.
Right. But obviously these people don't feel like they're... What was that?
I was saying, obviously, he's on a different spiritual plane because everybody doesn't, rock bottom, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, is different for everybody.
Exactly. And on that, and you're right. You're right. Now, playing a gay character, I've done the gay characters, and I've even done it before where they wanted me to be over the top, the flaming queen, and because of my size, they wanted it for the laugh. When I did what's the name of Dakima's thing? The Silent Cry. That was one of those shows where I went over the top because that's what she wanted, and I, act a fool, and this is you think you're to cut up, and this the best part, honey. When you come up in the church and you do this and do that, and so I gave her what she wanted, so much to where she fell out of character laughing on stage in the middle of a show. Okay? So we gave them what they want, and I've done it, and then have to fight for my money for it, but that's a whole separate issue. But so it's not to say that I've never done it. It's just that I've had to learn what my limitations are for me not to feel as though I'm shucking and jiving just for the dollar, because it's more than the dollar for me. Now, have I taken some bullshit-ass assignments and carrying on? Of course I have, because I needed to work. And so that's the other question. Are we saying that they should not do that because they shouldn't be warranted of the work, or what? Or are we saying that, hell, I know for me at the time, doing a lot of those little Chitlin Circuit gospel musicals was the only kind of work out there. So, hell, it was either work or starve. So what do? You
can eat chitlin. So there you have it.
Oh, Jesus, that was funny.
But I just have one other thing that I wanted to mention. And you were talking about the FBI, and I'm in Detroit, and there is a lot of things that are going on here. So much so that I really don't know what the future is going to be. I almost feel as though, we're going to be placed in concentration camps, so to speak, where we are not allowed to do anything. I just received information. I have been trying to find out what the curfew was for Detroit, for Wayne County, and I just found that out. So I just wanted to share that information with your listeners, for anybody out there who may have a need for this information. Now, this is, will not directly affect adults without children. But basically what this is it says Wayne County curfew, and it has a nice picture of a dark house with lights on, and it's all in black and white, and it says 15 years and younger without adult supervision. Curfew is 8 p.m. I will repeat that. 8 p.m. on weekdays and 10 p.m. I'll repeat that. 10 p.m. on weekends. This is for ages 15 years and younger without adult supervision. Now, if you're 16 and 17-year-olds without adult supervision, your curfew is 9 p.m. on the weekdays and 11 p.m. on the weekends. I'll repeat that, 9 p.m. on the weekdays for 16 and 17-year-olds and 11 p.m. on the weekends. Now, at the very bottom, now, mind you, all of the fonts on this is very big where you can really see what it is. Then it has this little tiny font underneath 11 p.m. on weekends that says, and I can barely read it without my magnifying glass, penalties start at $100 for first-time offenders. So parents out there, be aware that if you have your child outside past these times and the police roll up, the FBI roll up, or whoever else has seized the state of Michigan, you will be fined at least $100.
Wow. Wow. You said that for the 15 and under, did you say 10 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock on the weekends and 8 o'clock on
8 p.m. on Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Friday would be the weekend. It would be Friday, Saturday is considered the weekend. Sunday goes back to the, because you're going back to school, whatnot, so that goes back into the weekend.
Now, here's the question, because this is where all always gets sticky here, because dealing with this at the hotel where I work, it gets sticky. And that is for those who are 18, because at 18 you're considered to be a legal adult. If the 16 and the 17-year-old are with the 18-year-old who is not necessarily the guardian, then what do they do? Because, we all know that that's a stunt and that's a loophole. Because the 18-year-old could kindly say, no, this is my nephew. No, they with me, blah, blah, blah. When we know they are hanging out together and et cetera, et cetera. So that's where it gets sticky.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe It's legal adults, which is age 21.
18 is a legal adult, honey. That's what that there is. They can vote. They can go to the army and all that.
Right, legal for certain things. It's not completely legal. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But at 18 years old, you can buy cigarettes and liquor and everything else?
You can buy cigarettes. You can't buy liquor. The drinking age is 21.
Right, okay. So certain things you have to be 21 to do. And I believe one of those things is to supervise the child that is dealing with the person.
That's interesting. Now, that's something that has to be looked into, because if that's the case, my whole thing on that, when they raised the drinking age to 21, they should have just raised the adulthood to 21 and been done with it, because all of these damn little do-wah-diddies here, okay, the age of consent is 16, okay, but I could consent to this at 16, but because this was an 18-year-old who had sex with a consenting 16-year-old, that's still statutory rape because he's an adult. All of that is too fucking confusing. And then at 18, I'm grown.
You better do it before 9 p.m.
Okay, at 18, I'm grown. I could go buy cigarettes, but I can't have the cocktail to go with my cigarette. Really? Okay. But yeah, you can send me over here to fight in these man-made wars and shit. I can go over there, and you can train me how to use weaponry and carrying on. You can train me how to do this, and I'm considered to be an adult there. But because I'm somewhere where it's too much for me, and the inner child in me comes out, and I start crying and doing whatever, and I become have these anxiety moments, then I have to man up, and I'm oh, you grown, a man don't do this and a man don't do that, and all that kind of bullshit. See, that there is where they need to take it on up to 21. If the drinking age is going to be 21, then the legal age of an adult should be 21. Period. That way the bars and everybody who's sitting up there got to check IDs and this, that, and the other, all of that could be eliminated if we just take it on up to 21. Now, okay, yeah. Okay, now 313.
I think it's a matter of terms, adult versus legal adult.
Well, see, that doesn't make sense.
Play of words.
That doesn't make sense. If you're going to say that a legal adult, if I can vote at 18, which gives me every power to express my opinion, then I should be able to do everything else. You can't tell me I can vote at 18 and I'm not an adult, or I'm an adult, but I'm not a legal adult. That doesn't make sense. And the law says that legally I'm 18, I'm an adult at 18. That doesn't make sense.
They need you to vote, but they don't need you to drink. So they
that
give
doesn't
you only
make
the
sense.
power. They give you, it doesn't, but that's how they do it. They give you the power that they want you to have.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be a democracy, and see the way how you put that. See, that's why I question democracy and carrying on in this country. And again, see, all of this ties into the cooning and buffooning, because it's not about a racial thing. See, here we go about the whole cooning and buffooning and thing. Now that it's a racial epithet because of where it comes from. You know, it was said that that comes from the whole idea of the slaves being told, or, being forced to entertain the white folks. And then when we were free, we still were not, again, that free, I'm free, but I ain't free shit. I'm grown, but I ain't grown shit. Because even though I was a free somebody, I didn't have all the rights and privileges of my Caucasian counterpart. So because they were still able to do this, and I still couldn't look you in your eye, and I couldn't do this, I was commanded and demanded to perform at a whim. So, of course, I couldn't give you what I thought you wanted to see. I got to give you what you wanted. And you think black folks with these big old pink lips and big old saucer eyes, and all we do is yes, and all of that. And that was funny for them, because that's the image that they saw. So that's where the connotation comes from. But the idea and the principle behind it is no longer a black thing, honey. That goes across the board. Let's look at our Latino population. Because the Latinos, they'll cool on in a minute, honey. No, speak of the English. They'll give you that in a heartbeat, honey. Oh, senor, senor. You know, child, please, you better understand. You know, Mexican, what's the first thing we talk about Mexican? Mexican jumping beans and tequila, hot tamales. All of that becomes the stereotype that they will feed into when it's convenient in order to make that dollar.
Exactly.
In order to make that dollar, because and especially that American dollar, because they're coming from a country where they were making coins. Now you're making dollars. Okay, so yes, and like I said, you know, with gay children, honey, we'll do it in a minute. You know, the whole what I call the gay step and Fletcher. I say that in the book too. The whole idea that we put on this pomp and circumstance because we feel that's what the masses want to see. The whole girl, you know, the cutesy language, and I always got to snap a finger. And y'all know I came from the days where I was a snap queen, honey.
Well, child, we got one of the most famous people on the planet who does it all the time, and us black people, not me because it's not my thing, but us black people that made this man rich, Chappelle. I think it's ridiculous and ignorant, but everybody seems to like it. So that's why I don't understand the big uproar about these commercials. Because child is on TV all over everywhere. Just, you know, it's a part of what we have been, it's a part of what we were, and it's a part of who we are. Just embrace the shit and move on. It ain't never going away. And that's just how I feel about it. It's just a part of our culture. We need to deal with it and move on.
Oh, I like that. Okay. That's a part of our culture. It's the question. Did we as blacks make that a part of our culture?
It don't matter who made it a part of our culture. It's still a part of our culture. It's always been there. It's never going away. Deal with it and move on. It's a part of us, period. No matter who put it there. It's there. You said what?
We lost our culture during the time of slavery, and we were
right. We've never had a culture in this country, but neither has any of the other people here. This is a cultureless country. It's a mess of a whole bunch of cultures that don't nobody claim. So get over it.
Say that. Okay.
Shit. It really is, though. They call it a melting pot. It ain't no melting pot. Y'all threw a whole bunch of shit in and don't use it.
Okay,
don't
that
nobody
was
know what
unnecessary.
culture to embrace, so embrace what you love.
All right.
That's what I do. I embrace what I love. It's all a part of me, honey. I like that. It's going to be a part of me. I like who God has built me into. So you know what? Embrace what you embrace. But let go of the bullshit. Carrying all that shit around ain't hurt nobody but us individually, and I don't want no hurt. So guess what? They did that. It was funny or not. Either I'm going to accept it or not. And if I'm not going to be around it, period. Get over it.
All right. Now, I kind of like that argument. I'm going right here, 770-552. I'm going to bring you in with everyone. 770-552. Hello, and welcome to Dishing Tea with Big Meech. Hey, caller.
Yes, Big Meech. You know, I was calling back on another line because I was just listening to the comment of the gentleman talking about that we need to accept it, and I was wondering, why do we need to accept it? It's not a part of our culture. It's what they want. It's what people want to put on us.
It's been in our culture since we've been alive. It's not ever going away. So either you're going to deal with it or not. You don't have to have it as a part of your life, but you need to deal with it and get over it, really.
But
because it's just holding us back as a community because we're offended by everything. I'm not offended. It's a part of life. Move on, really.
What is a part of life?
Everything that's around us. It doesn't have to be a part of your life, but you still have to deal with it because it's there. It's always going to be there. You're going to always meet a black person or a white person that's going to present it. So we need to deal with it. It's a part of where we are and who we are, whether we want to accept that or not. It is.
And that's what people are doing. They're trying to deal with it, to say that, hey, we don't want it around us. We don't want that ignorant slapstick. And it was so crazy because the movie Bamboozled was just on this past weekend, and you almost sound like Delray, the gentleman that who Damon Wayans played.
I've never seen no movie either.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. People get upset by it, but they continue to take it in. But then they say it's not a part of them and it's not around them. You took that in. I've never seen that movie because I think it's ignorant.
Well,
so if I don't want it around me, why am I watching it?
Well, listen to what you just said. You never seen anything, but you're calling it ignorant. See, that doesn't make sense. If you don't know about something, how can you call something ignorant that you know not of? You know, it's just
I've
like
not
right
seen
now,
that movie, but I'm sure I've seen movies like it. I don't want to take that into my spirit,
but what I'm
so
saying
I just
is
don't watch
basically what Bamboozle was about is the things that Big Meech is talking about today. It's the things that still go on, that the slapstick, and that was what Spike Lee put out there back in 2000. That here it was 2000, and they still doing the same thing in 2012, things that haven't changed. And the thing about it is, with African Americans, the sad thing about African Americans is because they don't know about themselves. You'll see a German, he'll say, I'm German American. An Italian, I'm Italian American. An African American, oh, I got Indian in my family. You know, I remember it was a movie that was called A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And the grandmother said to the boy, grandson, you know, we have a whole, we part Indian. He said, yeah, Grandma, we may be part Indian, but we a whole bunch of Africans. See, a lot of people don't understand that they still hollering for 40 acres of the mule. If you knew, 40 acres of the mule, if you knew your African American history, like we were taught when I was growing up in school in New York, and we was going to Catholic school, and I'm 56 years old, and we were going to school, and we knew what we were taught by our parents. But when we went to school, all we saw was black folk in packed like sardines in cans. We knew about the African kings and queens, but they were showing us something else. So our parents started a petition, and they changed our whole curriculum in the Catholic school that we were going to. You have people that walk around and say that, you know, I got Indian in my family, but do they know after slavery was over in certain areas in the United States, and Don Cheadle came from one of them, the state that he came from, slaves walked down the road and said, okay, what do we do? Well, Indians held them. They took them into 5 tribes, but they held them for 30 years after slavery, but they did give them that 40 acres and that proverbial mule. If you knew your history, you would know that. You would know. People have been screaming about that for years, and I can remember, and I work for the government, but I remember Farrakhan, and I'm not a Farrakhan follower, but I remember he was talking to blacks in government, and I believe it was in 86. He said, you don't have to listen to me. And he pointed to the building across the street. And he was pointing to the Library of Congress because all of that information is in there. But people declined to do it. You know, it was a gentleman, it was a sports figure in Atlanta that got robbed. Where his money was behind his bookshelf. But he said the burglars came into there, they saw the library, and they walked out. And it was on film. And it's an old saying, if you ever want to hide money from a person, a black person, put it in a book. Because they won't go read.
This is true, but just because I feel the way I feel don't mean I'm not studied about my culture. That's why I feel the way that I feel.
Right,
I'm proud of who I am, and I'm happy to be a black man. That's not the thing. I'm just saying it's always been there, and it's always going to continue to be there.
I understand
it's going to be there even
listen,
if it gets better.
But listen to what you just said. You sound like, can you imagine what you just phrased, a white person saying it? I don't know them blacks, but I don't like them. You don't know the movie, but you don't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said I didn't see it. I didn't have a reason to see it because it's not something I need to see.
But you said,
I didn't like it.
I said, have you ever seen the movie? You said, no, because I don't like it. I'm like, how do you don't like something you never seen?
I don't recall saying I didn't like it, but I didn't see it because I didn't have a reason to see it.
Press pause. Let me clear it up, because what we're starting to get into is semantics, and this is the type of argument that ends up happening when we start going through. This is why stereotypes are relevant. Stereotypes exist because there's truth in them, and that's the point that I'm hearing you be making. Okay, it's there. We need to deal with it. Now, what I'm hearing you make is that, okay, it doesn't have to be there, and we don't have to necessarily just plain don't accept it, because we know it. If you know better, you do better. Right. Is what I'm hearing you say.
That's
so
right.
What we have to understand is both of what you guys are saying are true.
Right.
Because right now, those are the two dynamics. The question is, How do we bridge the gap between the two? Because that's what exists. What ends up happening, and this is why we as black folks fight all the time, is because we don't hear one another. We don't sit up there and say, okay, I got your point, and let's see how we can make this work together. But what everybody ends up doing, especially those who are not as articulate as we are to express their points, they come from a place where they want to sit up, they want to browbeat, they want to do this, they want to go into those particular areas where they got to prove that they're right, because now you've offended them, you've taken away their power, you've stripped them of whatever, and basically you've called them dumb and stupid, and that there becomes offensive because that's all they heard all of their lives. And so now in an arena where I feel I can empower myself, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do the neck roll, and now I got to keep it real because now you offending me, and I'm going to get hood. Don't make me act black. When my sister said that to somebody, and I had to check her really quickly. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Don't make me act black. The hell is that? That came out of my sister's. I helped my mama raise this girl. That came out of my sister's mouth.
Yeah, well, you know, I can remember radio talk show host Michael Bays, and he every weekend every year we would go to Jamaica. We go to Jamaica. Then he wanted to help the kids. He wanted to help the children. He had to save the children. So he said, well, T, are you going on this journey? And I'm like, no, I can't, Mike. He said, well, why do you feel like that? I said, because to me it's like sweeping sand in the desert. He said, well, why would you say that? I said, because you got to deal with the tree, not the leaves. You know, it's like if you go on YouTube, you'll see little kids sitting on adults' laps, and you'll see the little kid 2 years old, that MF and that B and so and so, and all the adults in the room are laughing like it's funny.
Right.
So when you got that mentality that's out there, and I mean, and after you look at that video, you could go from video to video to video, and you'll see the same thing, and it's like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Because it's just, it's like, it just drains you to know the ignorance that's out there. It's like that person right now that got paid and know they have to pay their electric bill, but they also know they got a cable cut off notice. They run into the cable place to pay the cable bill, and when they get home, they're going to wonder why the electric is on.
And that mentality is out there.
That mentality is out there. That's why, you know, I admire Dick Gregory so much, because back in the day, they offered him $1 million back in the day to sell his people out, and he didn't. And that's why I love Dick Gregory, because he bring it from the heart, you know. But other people now, they'll dance for whatever it is. I remember I always tease George Wilborn, who's on the Michael Basin show, because George said, the only time you'll see me in this dress, you know I got paid 7 figures. That's the only time you're going to see me in a dress.
Okay.
You know, but it's the things that they throw out to black folk that they accept. It's just like come Mother's Day next month. I mean, come Father's Day in June, you'll see a bunch in ethnic communities. You'll see Father's Day cards for mothers. A mother can only be the best mother she could be. She could never be a father. Never be a father. Now, where I live at, I don't see those cards. I could go down in College Park. I can go in different areas. I'll see those Father's Day cards for mothers. A mother can only be the best thing that she can be. She can never be a father.
Now, what was also interesting in that is that Father's Day gets none of the reverence that Mother's Day do.
No, it doesn't.
None of the reverence.
No, it doesn't.
None.
And, you know, Big Meech, I could be in the barbershop, and I'll hear the guys in the barbershop. You know what, man, around just before school time, I got to go out here and get this money so she could take my seed to go school shopping. I say, partner, let me ask you a question. I'm not going to ask you a hard one. Like, what is your child's teacher's name? What school do your child go to? What school do they go to? You know, because I'd say to anybody, if being a father is putting a check in the mail, American Express has been my child since November 1974, because I've been mailing the check to them every month since 1974. Since I went to that Hertz counter and knew I could buy the car that I was going to rent in the military, and the guy said, you have to have plastic. I took that American Express thing off that counter, filled it out, and got my American Express card since November 1974. So if putting a check in the mail is being a father, then I've been a father to American Express since 1974.
Have mercy. Have mercy. Now, that's a Facebook quote.
What?
That's a Facebook quote
right
there.
But Big Meech, it kills me because people they're just so lost. It's like we just a lost generation because we don't know about stuff. I tell people, turn on Dr. Skip Gates, who comes on PBS, and look at some of the series that he does. Find out about yourself, because if you see some of the series that he do, some of the people, and that's one of the biggest fears about white folk, because they don't want you flipping them pages too far back because the black will come out. You'll see the black. You'll see the black. I mean, you see it. I know the First Lady, she'll be on Stephen Colbert on Comedy Central tonight, but she's making an appearance. But he did his background, and you see there was the black in his family. You know, but black folk don't know about themselves. Like I said, German American, I'm German American. Italian, I'm Italian American. Black, I'm black, but I got Italian in my family. I mean, I got Indian in my family.
I got Indian,
you hear it all the time. This young lady said on my page the other day about Dominican, she's Dominican. I said, have you ever been to the Dominican Republic? She said, no. I said, so how could you claim that? Have you ever been to Haiti? No, I've never been there. My passport looks like a geography lesson because I've been out of the United States. I've traveled around the world twice in every state of the union. I did 24 years in the military and worked for the government and always traveling. And I just don't understand how people can't get out. I remember being at the Comedy Club in Atlanta, and John Witherspoon was there, and he said, people, they make a big deal like they going somewhere. I'm going down to South Beach. He said, well, wait a minute. This is Georgia. The next state south is Florida. So where'd you go? I'm going to Myrtle Beach. I'm going to Myrtle Beach. He said, okay, so the next state north is South Carolina. So where did you go? You know, get out of the country. See how other people live out of the country. Then things wouldn't be that big to you. You know, young lady, we went over to Italy, and when we stepped out, and she was because she had just bought her Mercedes. But when we stepped out of that airport in Rome, that's what the taxi cabs were. It was no big thing.
Would you say that? Wait a minute, stop, because that's significant right there. That is so fucking significant. You said the taxi cabs was the damn Mercedes.
The taxi cabs are Mercedes-Benz. You go to Cancun, Mexico, you see Ultimas and Maximas. That's what the cabs were. My daughter, I was overseas and went to the Louis Vuitton company. Didn't know it was a big thing. It was back in '89, and I bought some Louis Vuitton luggage from the company. Well, my oldest daughter liked it, and one time she came to Atlanta, and I had started sending her luggage from overseas. Well, one time we went up, I believe it was Phipps Plaza. We went up there. A cigarette case, Louis Vuitton cigarette case, and a Louis Vuitton cigarette case for the lighter cost more than my weekender bag.
Exactly.
You know, if you go to Cancun, there's a Walmart right down the street on the strip. You go in there, if you drink Patron, you'll see it for $12 a bottle, the same bottle you see here for $90 and $100.
Exactly.
You know, if people would get out of where they are, get out from where they live to see the world, let your children, because of your fears, don't put them on your children. And maybe we can grow as a people. Because, see, that 13-year-old Jewish boy, when they go for their bar mitzvah, they know some of their history. You ask I can remember in a quick story, Big Meech, I was down at the Martin Luther King Center. There was this woman, I don't know if she had a child on the change or if it was her granddaughter, but the little girl was about 12, and she kept asking, who is this? Who is this? And the woman couldn't answer. She couldn't answer. So we met up in the Gandhi room, and she said, well, why is Gandhi in the Martin Luther King Center? And the woman couldn't answer. I said, young lady, because Gandhi was like Martin Luther King's mentor. And he admired Gandhi. That's why they have a room for Gandhi in the Martin Luther King Center. And the woman looked at me because she did not know. And it's so sad. It's so sad as we as a people that we don't know ourselves.
Exactly.
How do we advance if we don't know ourselves? It's like somebody asking you for $1,000 and they don't have it. It's like giving love. You can't give something that you don't know, that you don't have.
Okay. Crispy chicken.
Big Meech. And like I said before, I love me some Mary J., but every time I see her in concert, I will think of that commercial. I will, and I posted it on your page, but I will think of her when I see her singing in what you call, you know? You too much. You are too much. Oh Lord. People, start not looking at some PBS programs. Look at Dr. Henry Skip Gates when he goes back in people's lives and start checking checking their lives and how they used to live, where they come from. Because we don't know where we come from. We don't know. We have not a clue. We have not a clue. Not a clue. Not a clue.
Exactly.
We can't be proud of ourselves because we don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. You know, from the women out there with weaves on, with the hats on it, that's like wearing two hats. I just don't understand where we going. I don't understand.
Would you know what? Ain't that what they call a wig? It was called, the full name for a wig is a wig hat.
I'm telling you. So you got on two hats. You wearing two hats in 90-degree weather.
Right.
You know, I thought because your hair was messed up, you slapped the wig on, and that wig is supposed to look better. You got a hat on top of that. That's supposed to fool us. Lord, and the lace things and we lost. Lord Jesus, we lost. That's why President Obama has such a problem, because when white folks see him, when them people out there, that's what they see as President Obama, and it's so sad. It's so sad. They see him like that, and it's so sad. And if people think that Romney, that President Obama's gonna have it locked in, please don't get it twisted, because them folks gonna be out there voting like a mug this time.
I know.
They're gonna be voting like anything.
It's gonna be a just cause vote, and that's why we got to keep the pressure on.
Oh yeah,
and know what we talking about at this time. Now, I know my president gonna eat him up in those debates, though. I already know that.
Oh yeah, we know that.
He gonna tag that ass.
Yeah, because everything that Romney did, what he's going against, that's what he did when he was governor.
Exactly.
You know, talking about Obamacare and all of that. So that's what he did already. So it's like, okay, but believe me, these folk gonna be out there because this man is cleaning up 16 years of mess. Everybody that wanted to call President Clinton the first black president, when you seen that Clinton's wife and they were running neck and neck, you seen the real Clinton come out in one interview.
Didn't you?
You seen him. You seen him. And then people got to remember, they got to go back. That's why I like to look at the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, because he breaks out those videos.
He does,
and he shows the people. I can remember when Hillary Clinton was down in the garment district, telling these people that work in the garment district, we sending your jobs overseas. But black folks still want to tap dance. Oh yeah, they real deal. They the first black. Yeah, okay. They got plantations. They got a whole bunch of barbed wire to put your ass back on the plantation.
Watch out now.
People don't understand. They gonna sleep. Black folk are gonna sleep. But I'm telling you, if they don't get out there and vote, they could do everything else. But when it's time to stand up and be counted, my one vote don't count. There's been many presidents that have been put in office by small numbers.
That's true.
Okay.
Small numbers.
Okay. Let me bring this child back in, because I told him I was going to bring him in. Andrew 82848, my England guy.
Hello.
Andrew. Hello, darling. You wanted to make a comment.
Hello, cheese guy. I was just going to say that for the guy who said their country is cultureless, there is no such thing as a cultureless country. I mean, every country's got nightlife. You guys have got nightlife. You've got, fast food. That's all a part of your culture. You cannot ignore that. That's there. That's a part of your...
Fast food is a culture?
Yeah, I mean,
fast
you
food
guys...
is a culture. And I've been to London. And you know what? There's more Jamaicans in London than the Loyal Isles, okay? I've been to London. Matter of fact, in June we were in London. Pictures on my Facebook page. I've been going to London since when I used to be stationed in Italy back in between 74 and 79. Used to go to London. So that's not part of a culture.
Yes.
Eating fast food is not part of our culture. It's not part of our culture.
Well, I think what he's saying is the comment was made that here in America, what we have done is we become a hodgepodge of different cultures to where America itself doesn't have a culture.
Yeah,
it's a hodgepodge.
We're a melting pot.
And so I think what the point here is don't discount it because we have nightlife or this, that, and the other, to where that is the culture.
Right.
The hodgepodge is the culture because it's an amalgamation of everything.
Oh, right, because you got little Italy, little Germany, it's all over. Especially in the city that I grew up in New York, it's a little bit of everything. Matter of fact, Daniel Moynihan back in the day, he put out a book called The Melting Pot. But but to say it's a culture, no, it's just because we want everything now. We want it now. So they're gonna have the fast food places, but they have fast food places in London. They have them in London. You're not talking to somebody that hasn't been there.
Yeah, but where was McDonald's founded from? Who founded McDonald's?
Kropp? You talking about who started McDonald's?
Yeah.
A white gentleman. A white gentleman in New York. I mean, not in New York. What's his name? Starts with a K?
See, he's American, right? So that is a part of your culture.
Okay.
So. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you. Yeah. Okay, so Andrew, basically, because I'm hearing your point is that what we have built has become a part of the culture, whether we like it or the whole fast food industry or whatever, is a part of American living because now those things have American culture, quote unquote, has now infiltrated other cultures because now you got McDonald's over in China and in London and all these other different continents and things to where America has invaded these other places. So, okay, I hear you.
It's like us with tea and crumpets, man. That's, our culture, but it's like everywhere.
No, that's Big Meech, because we doing tea and crumpets with Big Meech.
Okay, see. You better understand. Okay.
And if you took an etiquette course, sticking your pinky out don't mean that you up and mighty. It don't mean that. You don't supposed to have your pinky out. Go
I have
do research.
Got to say one thing. You gotta hand it to Meech that he knows what a crumpet is because most Americans, no offense, don't know what a crumpet is.
And you can't say that because I'm sure you have not taken a survey.
Yeah, but if you
I was married to a Bermudian, so I know what tea and crumpets are. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. But you speak to most Americans always ask me when I'm online, what's a crumpet?
Well, and that's sad because I always look at people when they're online. When you have a computer in front of you and you ask a question, I have to put one eyebrow up.
Right. Right, because the information can be easily acquiesced, yes. Or at least acquired, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, let me go here because I see 313. I've been trying to get you back up in here. Come on, baby. 313-772 and 248-688. I'm gonna bring all you guys in.
Lord have mercy, I am not on this line.
Yes, you are.
Well, glory be to the gentleman that has a lot to say. God bless you for traveling and having done things in your life. My goodness gracious, is he just a well-traveled man?
I have my passport now, so soon and very soon, Lord, I'll be the same way.
Well, just to toss in my 2 cents on this biscuit. I hear what both sides are saying. Awesome, grand, and great. However, I am currently in a progressive state of understanding how to do that meet in the middle. As valid and as lovely as the well-traveled man's point is, which is sickening. I can't mess with it. What I think is... it almost feels like an attack, if you will. It's understandable and acceptable that we, as a people, the black people, seem to have self-placed limitations. We can't progress beyond them until we understand and embrace what they are. So, in one sense, to my sister, Rebecca, that is, I dig that. I really do go with that because, there has to be a point of accepting it and getting over it and moving beyond it, which is where you make room for the education that the well-traveled man is presenting. But until you learn how to process your way through that and get past that, you, in my opinion, and better yet, in my life experience, you will remain stuck. And a lot of folks can't afford, at least right now in their life, just to travel on out the country. So you got to embrace what you got and figure out what to do with what you got until you can do better.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it's a lot of people that spend money, needless money, when they could go out and experience it. I mean, there used to be a sign on 85 that said you'll probably spend more money in the mall than in the Bahamas. You know?
Okay, how about that? Okay, wait a minute. Press pause for just a second, everybody. Hold on.
Ooh, okay.
Hold on, because what's happening is I just got my 60-second mark. So I have less than a minute. So those of you who are listening by computer, this thing is going to stop streaming. If you're on the lines, and we're going to keep going until we just stop talking, or the thing cut me off, one of the two. Okay. So you'll be able to catch everything in the archives. I'm going to say it now for those of you who might miss it, honey. If you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. Just do know that this thing will move forward one way, shape, style, form, or fashion. I want to say thank you to everybody who's coming in and to join us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. So we're going to keep moving. Go ahead, Mark. Continue.
Okay. Let me see. Sometimes I can get a little scatterbrained. Your comment earlier, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, you need to be on stage for that, for somebody to take that light bill money and race it to the cable company. Hilarious. And like you said, there's a lot of people that do that, but no one's trying to dive into the why of it. Because that's where everyone gets offended about it and all that kind of thing. That's where you can't tell nobody nothing and whatnot. That's where, in my opinion, all the anger and frustration is released at that point, because at that very moment, when you point something like that out to somebody, you ain't doing nothing other than calling them stupid. And sometimes you have to embrace and accept that.
Well, the only person I see that's calling them stupid is the power company when they come home and find out everything is shut off.
At the end of that story, you know. At the end of that story, you a piece of work, or as me and my Bruce like to say, fragnaggle or shenanigans. You're full of something.
Right.
You're full of something.
But the thing is, this is where I was going in the beginning. Everybody want to make the argument, we need to be educated, we need to know this, we need to know that. And that's all well and good, which is true. That's why I'm very educated about, the African-American culture. My family kept me there. But a lot of people don't get that education. The work is individual. The only way to make a change is to change you. And these people don't want to know the truth about themselves. That's why they can't move forward. We'll never move forward progressively as a group because we don't agree. We have to do it within ourselves. And that's all. That was the biggest point I was trying to make in the beginning. We need to deal with it and move on, bottom line. But you have to do that as an individual.
And my grandparents, Mr. Travel Man, I want to tell you personally, I dig you for pointing out the, how everybody says, I got a little Indian blood, because yes, I'm one of those folks that got, who grandma was a for real other EIO type of chick. So but like you said, I've never been to an Indian reservation. All I knew was my grandmother, and I didn't know that she was an Indian until damn near her death.
Okay, well, I know when I went to go bury my great grandmother, the guy said, "Well, what part of the South she's from?" I said, "Well, she comes from the South of Manhattan. I'm a 6th generation New Yorker." So, and there was no Indian in it, but her hair, I can remember her hair came past her calves, But there was no Indian there. There was no Indian there. But, like I said, we don't know ourselves. And I remember when Dr. Henry Skip Gates did, what's the brother from Hotel Rwanda, when he did his background check, he just knew that he would have a trace of some type of Native American blood in him, because his family was one of the families that was on one of those reservations there. But it didn't happen. It wasn't there. It wasn't, the DNA wasn't there. But we will claim that all the time.
I'm all right, madam. How are you?
The what now?
No, I am outside and talking, and God has blessed me in such a where people will come by me and greet me, and I think it's sickening and lovely. so that's one of the things that make me feel like I'm heading in somewhat of a right direction. So you know what? It takes me right into what you're saying about the Indian thing. To me, you are simultaneously preaching acceptance, but low tolerance. And I can't say that I have evolved enough yet to say that I got like a handle on that yet, because I still got some silly shit, as nice as I can put it, that I still indulge in.
Mm-hmm.
That I know I need to back off on it in order to progress. But just to be the truth about it, you know, I understand fully that the only one that's in my way is me. And baby, that right there is one hell of a kick of the nuts.
Yeah, well,
that the person that's blocking you, like a quarterback, is your ass.
Right, and like my grandparents used to say, it's not your fault because you were born ignorant, but it's damn sure your fault to say it.
If you stay that way, okay.
Well, amen. Well, there you have it. Okay.
Exactly.
You know, I can remember, and the person that was talking, and the person that was talking about like traveling to South Carolina or down to Florida, that was John Witherspoon in the comedy club. And then he asked the people, he said, "Well, in here, who has been to Mardi Gras?" And people threw up their hand. And then he said, "I'm talking about the original Mardi Gras." And people didn't, and then they were a little hesitant because they didn't know that the original Mardi Gras started in Mobile, Alabama. So I threw up my hand and I said Mobile, Alabama. So he said, "Okay then, well, since you've been to Mobile, Alabama, have you ever been to Carnival?" Well, my girlfriend stood up and she opened her jacket because we hadn't been back from Brazil 72 hours. We didn't have nothing to do, so we came to the comedy club. It's to the point where we get out, we go. Now, this was a woman that I met that didn't know where the airport was in the town that she lived in when I met her, but it was to the point where my head was hurting to say, how can a person live like that? How can you be in one place all these years and not travel? It just amazed me.
And then act as if you are an authority on what the world is.
Yeah, you know, if some people don't understand that, you know, when you cross your legs and show the bottom of your shoes, that's an offensive to people. Why people don't shake hands with left hand? Because in some cultures in this world today, they still wipe their behind with their left hand, not with tissue, with their left hand. That's why it's offensive to shake your hand, shake a person with, unless you only have a left hand. But people don't know that because they have not traveled outside of the country that they live in. Outside of the country they live in. And like I said, like Farrakhan said when he was speaking to blacks in government back in, I think it was 86, and he pointed to the building across the street, he said, "You don't have to listen to me. Go over there to the Library of Congress and open up a book. Because it's there." But now we have computers, so we could go on there and we could pull up the information all day long. All day long we could pull up that information.
Okay.
Because it's
the problem comes in when you run into fellas like me that's afraid of the internet.
Yeah, well, see, I'm not. I'm not, because you got to realize this. If you call to check on your American Express or your Visa card, your call is being routed over to the Philippines. You could ask that person, or India, and you see them on 60 Minutes, and the people was on 60 Minutes. My name is Abraham Washington. They want to put that thing in your mind to say, okay, Abraham. Now, I know it's not Abraham Lincoln, but my name is Abraham. They had them repeating names that we know in the United States. But they got all your information, so when you see all these LifeLock commercials, and I hope that's not one of your sponsors, it's just scare tactics, because you talking about somebody in a third world country that's not making any money at all, but they got all your Social Security number and everything. Come on.
What?
Be for real.
Ain't that nothing?
Be for real. You know, that's why
someone
people
like me feels like
that's why people from different countries, like when people
Uh-huh.
come from Jamaica and other countries, if there was a Kroger in Jamaica, you talking about a person making about $68 a week. That's why people come here and work like Hebrew slaves to make that money. Money. Well, here we take it just for you know, oh wow, you know. But in those countries, they working. People leaving from one job, going to another job, going to another job. Granted, it has filtered here.
Broaden my horizons.
The what now?
At least a peak. But see, like I say, even for someone like me, The internet, to me, is the gateway to dehumanizing humanity. I don't like how we live in a society of, as my auntie would say, microwave lovers. You want everything now. You want everything instant. So I'm resistant to that particular form of progress while accepting the fact that I know I need to get with it. But I am very slow getting with the technology train.
And can I ask you a question? What do you drive?
Yes, sir.
Do you drive a car?
No, sir, I do not drive.
And
when I did drive, I absolutely hated it.
Okay, because I was wondering if you were still going outside and unwrapping that string around that post where you got your horse and buggy tied up, because if you're not moving on with technology, I'm sure it's a whole bunch of people who love you sticking with that horse and buggy thing, because they have jets now. You know, but if you want to stick back there with the Underwood 500 typewriter or the IBM Selectric 2 and 3, that's on you. But see, because you're going to be left behind. You're going to be left behind, because when I sit up here with my 5-year-old grandchild and my grandchild will say, well, Granddaddy, how come you doing it like this? Do it like this. You know, I moved to the side of the computer so he can show me. So he can show me. You know, because it's about progress. And if not, we're going to be left behind.
Yeah, but my horse and buggy is cute. But I hear you.
But
you should see my horse. It's lovely.
You know, an entertainer, a beautiful young lady named Elizabeth Withers, she said she's getting ready to do a run. She's getting ready to do the triathlon, and she was getting her heart checked and everything this morning. And she said, what was her comment? She said, I'm healthy as a stallion. I said, well, I hope it's not a stallion. I hope you meant mare. Well, some people didn't even know what a mare was when I made the comment that a stallion is a male horse.
Right.
A mare is a female.
Right.
Well,
but they didn't know. You know, and it's so sad. I mean, simple things, like one of her songs, Simple Things. Simple things.
You know what? That can spin right into the topic of one of the first topics I think that was brought up on this show, like with the gay community and their ability to fall in love. Because I noticed from a broad range of ages, from your oldest to your 20s. We gay folks, not that everybody don't do it, maybe, as my Amy said, when you get on a date and you find yourself a cute piece of action, all of a sudden, y'all married and y'all in love, while you have someone like me sitting back going, thinking, how could you give it away so cheaply? You know, I could understand having fun, but you going to give all that on the first date?
Hey, you know, like the song said back in the day, give me what you can't get back, and they give it up so quickly.
See?
You know, they give it up so quickly. But, Big Meech, I'm trying to understand the person that's talking now, because they said they're not used to technology, so I'm wondering, through your phone system now, is it being filtered through the smoke signals that he's sending, or
you are so
more code? Because I know he said that he doesn't use technology.
Me and my horse is now. He's
not using technology, so I'm just wondering what he's talking on right now. Do you have like a filter?
It's a smoke signal for the gods. I got all sorts of sparks, electricity, and lightning flowing through my shit. I'm bad. I tell you.
You know, a lot of people.
I'm going to catch to it, though.
I thought he would be living like a Quaker over there.
Oh, not a Quaker.
I thought he was living like a Quaker. You know.
Here's the ticket on that.
The sickest one you ever seen.
Okay. And a lot of folks who have been afraid to embrace the changes in technology. You know, we just as you said, you know, have not educated yourself enough to know that these calls are being routed through over to Indonesia and carrying on. Which, when they started doing that, see, that was to get around all that stuff here.
Right.
When they had the new laws that came up as far as these cold calls or whatever, all these damn little bill collectors and shucking and jive calls, because these children don't have American laws. That's how come you're getting these calls at 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Are you happy with your car insurance kind of call? You know, so
and just to
because
go
of
in there,
that,
just to let you know, I am talking on the Metro PC, so I'm damn near close to a smoke signal. Are you familiar with Metro PC at all?
Well, I'm familiar with Metro PCS and what was the other one?
Right, so I don't even know about no Metro PCS, so you already surpassed me.
Yeah, well, Metro PCS has been out. I remember when they were in their infancy. I mean, because like in Pittsburgh and Ohio, they have Cricket. Their phone company was Cricket. They have the same, what you call them, But yeah, I mean, and you know what? Sometimes you call in for like your bills or whatever. If you look at MSNBC lockup, that it comes on Friday nights and it stays on until like Sunday almost. They show where some prisoners, the supposed to be the good prisoners, if you want to call them that, they work in the call centers that they have in the prison.
You better understand that. Understand that. And also, these same little companies, because they're not regulated and carrying on, they can charge you what they want to charge you.
That's right.
Because I remember I had made a collect call once, and that damn call cost me $5 and some change for a minute.
That's right. And how they do, they have the name locked down, because what they'll say is, you say, well, it don't matter who you want, and there's a company out there that says it don't matter who you want, who I want, or connect me to whoever, and there's a company out there called Connect Me to Whoever. When you're talking to that one operator, when you go to make that call, they sold that on 60 Minutes maybe about 10, 15 years ago.
Exactly.
Yes,
they did.
But Big Meech, I understand, because I understand some of the time they're dealing with. My best friend, she always say, Tony, when those 4 feet hit the floor, what do you have in common with that person? I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, ask them sometime when it's a story on MSNBC, you tell them to turn to MSNBC, the story done went off, but you tell them to turn to BET or VH1, they could turn right to it. Bravo, they could turn right to it. Because that's all they know. They don't know nothing else. They don't know nothing else, and it's so sad. We as a people, Lord, got a long way to go in a short time to make it. And when I play and post on my page on Facebook, when I post what's going on, a song that Marvin Gaye did almost 41 years ago,
right?
And it's still relevant. Some of the broader confused stuff that is still relevant today.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sad. It's so sad.
Exactly.
It's so sad.
And that's where you have to make the choice. Are you going to stop moving, or are you going to just sit there and sigh because it's so sad?
No, I keep it moving. I keep it moving.
Okay. So apparently you do. Your passport looks like a geography lesson.
No question. No question. It's no question.
That's right.
No question.
Well, Tony, you said something, and I need to put this in here today, because when I was talking with my coworker earlier this morning, he made this point. He said, a lot of us, going back to the whole Mary J. Blige and the chicken thing and this and the third, he said, so y'all so busy looking at her singing about the little crispy chicken. He said,
I hear just a little bit of it, Big Meech?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Fresh lettuce.
Okay.
Big Meech.
You stupid. Okay.
It's so much so I had to post it on your page. So
he said that we're so busy. He likes to say that we're so busy looking in the wrong direction. We got our heads in the wrong areas. He said, we're so busy talking about this, but none of us are looking at the schools are closing. That black folks are losing their properties still. They're coming to take your properties and carrying on. And that, he said, you want to talk about cooling and shucking and jiving. He said, we're turning away from all the stuff that's important just to make a point about something simple.
Wow.
Love that. And I love it when he said that. I totally agree, because, the bigger picture in all of this has to be, what are we going to do in the end of it? Okay, just like I bet Dimes to Donuts, whenever they charge this George Zimmerman with this Trayvon Martin case, that the hype is going to die down. Once they put that man in jail and say, they done locked him up, everybody who's been marching is going to be happy. Because they got an arrest. Because that's all they say. We just want him arrested. We want him arrested and justice will be done. But y'all ain't looked at the whole bigger picture of this.
No question.
The bigger picture, honey, is not about George. It's about the damn laws.
That's right.
The police officers didn't do what they were supposed to do. We don't know what happened, and I don't believe that it was a self-defense. I believe he shot that boy. I don't believe that he meant to kill him.
Right.
I think he meant to scare him, and it went array.
Right.
But the whole thing of it is that this is about the laws. The police failed that family.
Oh, yeah, they did.
None of that.
They did.
And that's the big picture in all of this. And nobody's going after that.
Right. You're supposed to take the clothes. You're supposed to take all his clothes, give him some more clothes. If you were going to release him, that man's supposed to have some more clothes because all those clothes that he had on that night is supposed to be there for somebody to look at.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I think he was totally failed. I mean, it was totally failed. And like there was one woman made a comment today on one of the Facebook page things talking about, he just needs to kill himself. Well, that would cheat. I said, if it was your child, would you want him to kill himself if he killed your child? Wouldn't you want some type of justice? Because I think you would feel cheated by it being your son, and then the man just going to take his life. At least that's how I feel. With grandsons and a son, that's how I would feel. I would feel cheated. I would want the justice to work some type of way. And I know Eric Holder, the head cop, that works for President Obama. He made a statement about he's going to be looking into this case. And I really think that President Obama's wife probably said, "Look, Barack, you need to speak up about that," because he finally spoke on it, a couple of weeks ago. But when the thing with Trayvon Martin came out, I posted it out on my page that night that it happened because I was talking to my son in Florida, and he said, "Dad," he said, "a thing just came across the screen about a kid getting killed in Sanford, Florida." I know Sanford, Florida, because if you ever put cars on the auto train in Lawton, Virginia, that's the stop where you pick them. Well, you got to be on the train to ride with them, and that's where you pick them up on Amtrak in Sanford, Florida. So I know that city, and I lived in Orlando, so I know. And it's been a racist town just like Kissimmee, Florida, or Ocala, Florida. It's been racist forever. Forever. Exactly. Forever and a day. It's been racist. It's been racist. It hasn't changed, but it's just so sad. It's just, we in a sad state of affairs. And with the stand your ground law, it's a lot of states that people live in don't know that law exists in the state that they live in.
And that they live in, exactly.
Here in Georgia. It's here in Georgia. People didn't know.
It's here in Georgia, and it's also in Michigan.
Yeah,
yes,
it's in, I think, 27 states. It's like people don't know this. And every January, new laws are put out there in the newspaper. They have the new laws. But right. people don't know. They don't know. Because if a cop wanted to be an a-hole, if you had something hanging from your mirror, he could stop you and say that's blocking your vision and give you a ticket.
That's right. That's right. All on the technicality. Yeah.
That's right. And give you a ticket.
That's right. What's the stand your ground law?
The what now?
What's the stand your ground law?
The stand your ground law simply says that you have the right to apply physical and sometimes deadly force in the case of if you feel that you've been threatened and you have no immediate method of retreat. Basically, if you feel as though your life is in danger and you get to fighting or whatever, if you kill this sucker right there at that point, then the law protects you. But it has a lot of loopholes. It's a loophole because everything about that says that now it's all about interpretation and perception. Okay, so if I'm feeling like you threatening me just because you looking at me wrong, and I decide that I'm carrying and packing a 45 or whatever, and I decide to shoot you, that I have, which is in this case of Zimmerman, what it's looking like is that now I have the right to sit up here and say I'm justified because this was self-defense. I felt threatened. And that's a grand loophole. That's just setting up for the OK Corral all day.
Right.
Back to vigilante justice.
You know, because it reminds me almost like the castle doctrine back in the, like they have in Texas and some other states. But yeah, with the stand your ground law, that's something that almost basically that came from like medieval England. Like the retreat to the wall law. It was, there's things that have been out there forever. But Big Meech, I say a week ago I was talking to this young lady and she had a picture. She had sent me a picture because she was driving to Ohio, and I said maybe about a month ago. Well, a little bit around with Trayvon Martin. I said, so you doing the Trayvon Martin thing because she had a hood on. She didn't know who I was talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, just like the gentleman just asked about Sanya. This is something that's been on the news. We have to get involved in the things that's going on in the world because we are part of it. We are part of it. We have to know, because this guy, he killed this kid, and it's like, and I hope people just don't die down. I hope they understand that it could happen to them, and it's going to keep going on. Look at the guy in Chicago here. They just sentenced to 40 years. He was a police officer that worked, I think, at the railway station. It happened some years back. He supposedly had fired on some cops, and the cops fired on him. He got shot 28 times by the cops that was firing on him, and he just got sent to jail for 40 years.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let me add this, because thank you for saying it the way you did, but let me be quite frank here. I understand the relevance of what you're saying, and that is awesome, cute. We can add a cherry on top of that and serve it as dessert. The reality is that on certain things like that, because I choose to be crazy and choose to be relaxed, I will receive these bits of information as I have just now, when I feel like personally God is meant for me to know that. There are things that I will educate myself about along the way in the journey of life. But thus far, my good God has taken sufficient care of me with my limited knowledge. Beautifully, successfully. And I know I can grow and do better. But there are certain things that I choose, sort of like politics. I personally choose not to get too deeply involved in that. As relevant, as touchy as that is for many, 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 many folks, I am one of those people that have been told that if I choose not to vote, then I choose not to have a voice. And my attitude towards that still remains, even though I am now a voter, my attitude towards that still remains. So as long as I'm paying taxes, my voice matters. It really, really does. And you don't have to believe it and or agree with it. I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. And if there's to be a rush that I gain this knowledge any quicker, I do trust and believe that everything in me is going to see to it that I know, a.k.a. God. Just to, throw my 2 cents on that.
Okay.
I hear your passion in the sadness of the undereducation that people can choose to do. And everybody has their reasons. Everybody, dear God. Me personally, I choose to stay so consumed in my own mess. Taking me a minute to
in your mess. Just call it what it is.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what I said, mess. Mm. And I'm choosing to step away from it, but it may not be as rapidly as someone else may consider I should be.
Oh, okay.
And that's it's not their journey and not their life.
Right, and I'll accept you for that, But I'm just saying, in our household growing up,
Amen.
I know how the pressure was put on us. And we had no choice. When we stepped out of our building, if you lived on the left side of the street and you took a look to your left, there was City College of New York. If you was on the right side, there was City College of New York. That's what we saw every day when we stepped out of our building. So we knew when we stepped during the summer, we were talking about who took the SATs, who took the MCATs. It was like that was the thing because that's how we were raised. We were raised like that. So it was just to the point where it was the passion. I remember one time my mom came down from New York and I took her to the Martin Luther King house, to his house, and as we stopped, as you going down Auburn Avenue, and we stopped on the thing, and she just got so mad because she seen everybody out there drinking and smoking and getting high right like blocks away from the house, and she was like, she just rolled down the window, and I'm like, Mom, what you doing? And she's like, why y'all on the corner? And, you know, right down the street from a man who fought and died and sat in Walgreens and got spat on and piss thrown on him. And y'all, this is what y'all doing? You know, somebody put on Facebook the other day, you know, what do you think Martin Luther King would say? You know, and I would say I really don't know what he would say, but I felt if it was me, I was like, what is it for? I usually tell people when I'm trying to deal with certain folk in life, and I say to them, you know, I don't believe it's tsunami or earthquakes. I think it's our forefathers and foremothers spinning in their graves. The ones who's in the water that got water burials, they in the oceans just spinning, saying, what the hell did I die for? It's those slaves, those millions of slaves, because you got to remember, Jewish people, they could claim 8 million in the ovens or whatever it is, but slaves, because we were written down like cattle, they know almost to the number how many were lost, and it was hundreds of millions that had jumped in the water, that died at sea from sickness and everything that's in those waters. And I believe it's our forefathers and foremothers that are fight that they just like, why did we die? What did we die for? What did we die for?
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that, because see, I guess I'm someone that gives just cause to such statements like that. But I will say this to it: when you are put in an environment, because see, my mother would love you. Because see, my mother was a very well self-taught woman, educated, book smart, and all that. But my mother had difficulty with math. Whereas for me, on the other hand, math came so easily, I became bored with it, but never did anything with it because I hate math. But if you sit me down, regardless of college level, elementary school level, you sit me down and give me a good run through, baby, I can figure out almost any equation you put in front of me. But I hate math. I seriously do.
Well, I hear you, because I used to get pissed off because when people used to come to our house, they'd be like, Tony, do that dance, you know, so I could dance like old boy in Jungle Fever. But with my brother, one of my brothers, you could say 67, 52, 89, and just say the numbers. And as a little kid, you could throw the numbers at him, and he could add them up right in his head as he was with you. I wish I had that gift that he had.
Right, and you know what? I'm glad that you said it, because I've met people in my life that I consider, because I love singing. I've met other singers in my life, fabulous, wonderful singers, voices that sound like they've been touched by the hand of God, that have told me to my face without hesitation, the last thing they want to do is be professional with it. Now, breaking news. George Zimmerman will be charged in the Trayvon Martin case. It was 2:57. I'm saying, let me turn to CNN. Okay, I'm listening to you, sir. Well, people have choices. Like I said, each journey is very, very, very much individual. And even though we may have an understanding and or knowledge where someone is going, I'm not sure as whether or not people in general, yourself may or may not be included in this, get how much it takes to admit and move beyond your faults. That is something that is not something, in my personal opinion, that's taught in the black community. We're taught general stuff like, you know, well, you're black, so, you know, that's 2 strikes against you, but you got to press forward and whatnot. But, see, life is such that life is, as my aunt says, it's so simple it's complicated. It's so simple. It is the answer to every problem, every question, and whatnot. Is so simple it's ridiculous. But the reality of it, the reality to stick and not to not, you know, wanting to go run and get some ass when you want to, run to get that liquor or whatever you're addicted to. That is a whole different dynamic in and of itself. So to generalize so passionately how people, you know, could and should, that's wonderful, and it's true. But I'm pretty sure, Mr. Tony, that even you fall short just a little bit. Oh no, and it's within that fall that I would say should open the window for you to relate to anyone who you may feel is really sad. Because, see, that fall, whatever fall you had, I mean, it took you a second or a couple of minutes or a couple of hours to get up from. Within that moment, as my Amy say, rush that across the board.
Okay,
and rush that across the board to someone running that electricity money to the cable company. It might sound crazy, but in that moment, that's what happened, and they have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And the knowledge to cut that out, to cut something as simple as that out. I mean, first of all, you got to understand and accept that that is really not the way to get this done, because it don't make no sense, baby. You can't watch cable without no electricity.
Right. But some people don't have. Some people don't have that.
Cannot communicate that to, and they have to get that in their own time.
Yeah, and that's sad that people that you, and the thing the thing about it is that person's making more babies. That person's making more babies, and that's the sad thing. That's the sad.
We know what happened.
And see, let me interject here, because see, I'm hearing a tinge. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing a tinge.
And what's the tinge?
And well, the whole thing of it is that a point. I'm hearing that a point has to be made, and you know what I'm talking about. He know who I'm talking to. And here's the thing. Right there in the whole idea of a point having to be made, ideal, suggests that you shut down and not heard the point that was said in its entirety. It's not so much as it being a personal attack that someone just happens to be sad. The whole thing is, yes, it is sad that someone has not been able to do this or do that or do this or do that. When the technology is here, it is sad that someone does not want to embrace the changes in life, because what that says is that for whatever reasons, you are afraid of change and afraid of moving to the next level. And yes, arguably, it is going to be a scary situation because no one wants to come out of their comfort zone. But at the same time, sadness is only gladness upside down.
You better
so at any given point, if you're tired of being sad, you can always turn it around to get glad. So in that particular instance, not the whole idea of having to prove a point or to have to say this or you feel as though this must be said, then what has happened is a nerve has been struck. And so now it's just time to breathe. Accept what's being said, pull from it what you need to pull from it, and then let it guide you the rest of the way. That's part of the process.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, I understand, because I know in different things in life we pick and choose what we want, but, a person say they don't want to move forward. Well, why are you speaking on the cellular phone? It should be string in a can, It's like, we need to embrace the things that's out there, because over my desk, and I've had this thing, and I got it in plastic because the sheet was so raggedy, and it says, over my desk, it says, work smarter, not harder. And I carry that with me every place I get transferred. I always look at that sign, work smarter, not harder. It's somebody out there busting their behind to doing the same. It's like it's like a person that has, and what I'm feeling is like a person that has the truck 20 feet away from where the loading dock is. They taking the stuff off the loading dock and walking 20 feet over to the truck instead of backing the truck up to the loading dock.
Okay, right.
And I see that all the time. And I'm saying that I'm just using that as to throw there in your mind, but I see that people do the hardest thing. It's like, why are you doing it like that? Just back the truck up.
And here's the thing. And see, part of that is where we as people have this is the lesson for us. Because when we see that, we have to accept that that's how they choose to do it. As fucked up as it is, and as backwards as it is, we have to accept the fact that that's how they do it. And then, because one of my lovely old statements is, that's not on my desk. Okay, because if that's how you choose to get your work done, honey, then fine. But don't get mad at me because mine is done, and then you ask me to help you, and I don't.
Mhm.
Because see, if you had taken the advice I gave you and said, honey, if you just do this, you could be done. Oh no, honey, I got it. Okay, well then you get it. Now I'm sitting up here having wine and stuff at the bar, waiting on you. Because you're supposed to go here together, but your ass is stuck here for another 2 hours. Then you done missed the bus. Then it done started raining. Now you got to go home and change your clothes, and it done created a whole big old mess. And then you mad at me because I left. Bitch, stop.
Because they wanted to work back asswards. That's on them. That's on them.
No, but that is a hard horse pill to swallow. Oh, because I choke, I gag, I can't even chew it up. You know, whenever I have to take that pill, I have to chop it up and powderize it and mix it in the water.
Is that bad? Is that hard to swallow?
Yes, it does not go down smoothly because, again, and this is where it gets selfish because the whole thing of that is selfish. And that's because they're not doing it in the time I want them to do it in or I feel they should do it. And because I see their potential, and here's the word, the potential in them to get it because I know they have the capacity to do it that way and they choose to do it a separate way, I have to allow them for their choices because if they challenge me on mine, I know I would be just as passionate about being in their face as they are with me. So that there is the peel, darling. That's the peel. And if we take that across the board and look at how we deal with people, how we deal with culture, how we deal with races, because I mean, think of that when we're dealing with someone who is just completely racist. And this is a white person being racist towards blacks and others. This is black folks being racist towards others.
Right.
Okay, and all the phobias and this, that, and the other. To tell them that I'm just a human being just like you, if you cut me, we going to bleed the same blood. That there goes over their head because they don't hear that. All they see and all they know is what has been inbred in them. And they're going to keep doing it their way because they know their way is what sustains them until they do better. And the sad thing is that a lot of them don't because they get in that rut. And so the thing you have to do is either deal with it or leave them the fuck alone.
Because, I mean, say, for instance, like, you know, when you was talking about, you said, well, the person has potential. Well, I know in the military, writing fitness reports, writing evaluations, you got two of the same guys graduated the same time out of the military school, they doing the same job, you writing up the evaluation, you saying, this gentleman has the potential, this gentleman is doing it. So it's like, the person that's going to get the promotion when they see that in D.C. is the person that says that person is basically doing the job. Now, the person that has the potential, and it's like, okay, well, they still working at it. They haven't grabbed it yet. Grabbed it yet. And that's a sad thing, you know. And, yes, we are looked at, you know, on another subject, we are looked at differently because, like the other day on the news, they were talking about, you know, when are they going to stop talking about Trayvon Martin? Shit, y'all was talking about Amelia Earhart a couple weeks ago. Y'all talking about, what's her name, Natalie Holloway in Aruba, you know, and that's 2005. But they could
no, honey, wait a minute.
They even still talk about the little girl that fell in the well, you know.
Okay, they still talking about Marilyn Monroe.
Jesus. And that's why I just want to take our people on some time and show them that to some folk we have no value. So grab what you can because to some folk we have no value. No value whatsoever. That's the thing that upsets me. Because when white conservatives was talking about, you know, this Trayvon Martin thing has gone too far. It's like, you got to be kidding. Y'all still talking about Natalie Holloway.
And OJ, and the whole OJ thing, you know, with Nicole Brown, you know, and all of that.
Still talking about
it.
Still talking about it. And that's another subject because when I seen his son crying in court that time, I said, that boy has something to do with it. And I see now in the news, because people were calling me talking about, Tony, what you said back during the O.J. trial, they talking about they believe O.J.'s son killed the woman. That was all in the news the other week.
Okay.
And I'm like, why is he crying so hard?
Okay, I didn't know who, honey, but I've always said O.J. didn't do it, but
I
he knows who does it.
I didn't think O.J. did it, but I said
he know who did it, and so now,
like he's saying, like looking like my father's on trial for something that I did, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but that was all on the Griot and Huffington Post and all that different what you call last week. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, but Big Meech, I love calling into your show, but I know now every time I go to a Mary J. concert, I'm going to hear your damn voice. See? And that's what I'm talking about. You the best. And see, and why I'm so passionate about Mary J., I had to take some money by a hospital where my nephew's uncle worked at. And this woman, I'm looking at her, and I said, ooh, you look like somebody. This was like maybe 89, 90. I said, you look like somebody I know. I said, they trying to sing, but they really can't sing. So my nephew's uncle, he pulled me to the side. He said, you know that lady, Miss Cora, she has a daughter named Mary Jada. I said, that's the woman. I said, that's her mother? He said, yeah, that's her mother. And that's how long I've been following Mary J. That's how long. I've been following her when she used to be performing in Portsmouth, when old boy that who used to sing with Jodeci used to beat her ass with the black eye. Performing one time with the black eye, and I could see it on the side of her sunglasses. I've been following old girl forever. And then when I saw that commercial, when they showed it on TV, on the news, I said, Lord, she's giving the same passion she doing the concerts.
Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce,
I can't go.
tomatoes, okay.
You know, it ain't like Mary J. Hurting because she sells more perfume when she's on, what is it, HSN, with Carol's Daughters, when she's on there, she's the top of the list on
right.
She's the top of the list. Nobody sells more than her when she comes on there. They buying Blossom out the yin yang, you know. So I know she's not hurting, you know, but I guess every person has a price, boy. But I know when I go to her concert, I'm going to hear Big Meech. Lord Jesus Christ. Jesus. Because Frank Ski had her down at a private thing.
You children have a good time. I got to run off. It's been wonderful talking to you, Miss Nietzsche and Mr. Tony. God bless you. Thank you for giving a young brother some information.
Okay, then.
All right, enjoy.
Okay, yeah, Big Meech. Every time I go to a concert now, I'm gonna hear Big Meech. And you was throwing it too, cause you talking about, and I just had to go and put it on your page because that's a dig of the video. And I didn't post it on my page when it came out because I don't want to see my girl Mary Jane Blige looking like that singing that song.
Right.
You know? But she doesn't, you know. Like I said, Jay Leno, he drives his vehicle, you know, he drives through the Burger King. He's not outside the Burger King. He's driving inside the Burger King, and the guy tells him, he said, well, you know, Jay, we have a drive-through, you know, and Jay says, I know. And he just drives out because Jay Leno is known for his cars. He got a big warehouse full of cars.
Yeah, he collects them.
Yeah, and then you have the soccer player, you know, him, you know, he's talking to the girl, and she's getting all dreamy-eyed, looking at him and everything, and that's his thing, you know. But when I saw the Mary J., I'm like, oh, Lord, Jesus, no, not me.
Oh, yeah, the soccer player, yeah, because he does the shakes.
Yeah, he does the smooth. Because the other day, I got a thing in the mail where you could get that free thing that he's talking. Well, when he's ordering, you could get that one because they got the strawberry and the mango and what you call them. So they got the free because I got it the other day. I stopped in Burger King to get it. But but every time now I'm gonna hear your voice.
Lord.
I just got Wanda's voice because she was doing it on the Frank and Wanda show at 10 o'clock. She did it one night, you know, when their show comes on UPN channel at 10 o'clock. Frank and Wanda show, they show like a half hour of the morning show that they do.
Right.
And she was doing it, but now I hear your voice doing it. Lord have mercy.
Well, listen, T, we are going to sit down and shut this down now.
Okay, then.
Because, child, I got, 11 minutes, and I will be 3 hours long on this show today. Okay. This is a hot topic, a real hot one. Okay. And I thank you for coming in. Now, you call me personally because we need to talk.
I know. And, I know you're going to beat me up. But
no, it ain't no beat up. You've been traveling and things, but we'll talk. So yeah, we get all that together and all of that. So thank you for calling in. And all right, for your first time with
I'm gonna post
welcome.
on my thing for Big Meats next Wednesday. I'm gonna have it on my page. Oh, no question. No question. I didn't know it was this much fun.
Oh, well, thank you, baby. I appreciate it. See, I told you, I'm a ball of surprises.
Yes, you are.
I told you that when I met you.
Yeah, yes,
that's
you did.
That's a whole nother
thing.
That's
a whole nother story.
Okay.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thank you, baby.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, honey, that's the show for the day, honey. This was a really hot topic. You know, this here got hot, and, you know, as you see, it went into many different areas and many different directions and all of that. And, yes, babies, that's what we do. That's what we do. So, hey, thanks for taking your time with me, honey. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to take them over to www.dishingtea.com. You can email me directly, bigmeech@dishingtea.com, and I will be sure to make sure that I address each and every one of them. Until then, darling, honey, finish all of your crumpets, baby, because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, darlings. With Big Meats, honey. Until next time, baby, if you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know, one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, we are moving forward. Until that time, baby, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Oh, what a great audience. Let's dim the lights for this next one. Nope, too much. There it is. Got to get things just right. Like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find coverage options that fit your budget. And now, the mood is right. Wait, the lights are back on again. Trudy, can you? And now it's completely dark.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.